All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you're new. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And thank you, as always, for waiting patiently for the intro to finish up there. I hope everybody is doing well today. So, yeah, I'm sure you've noticed that I haven't been live streaming as much this past week. And I did do a short live stream, I think it was Friday, and I took that one down because I was definitely not ready to stream that day. The schedule's been a little bit all over the place, so I do apologize for that, but it's not really my fault. I got sick with something last week, and dude, whatever I got sick with, completely kicking my ass. It just hasn't been good. So I am feeling better today, but I still don't feel 100% today. So my hope is that we can have a pretty normal stream. I will say that the only thing that could be different about today's stream, ultimately, we'll have to see, is it could be a little bit shorter than the normal, Sunday streams. The Sunday streams go for longer. I think it was I think I got sick with norovirus because, dude, my gut and my gut biome is completely annihilated. Like, that's been the biggest struggle, is just trouble eating. It's been a nightmare. So yeah, and it's also the fact that this has been a very, very quiet week in gaming. There's been very, very little gaming news that's actually, I would say, that interesting. There's been pretty much almost no PlayStation news, but I do still have some topics that I want to discuss with you guys today. And I figured at worst, worst case scenario, we just talk about our hopes and dreams for PlayStation, man, because you can never really go wrong. Can never really go wrong. Just talking about our good old hopes and dreams. A man can dream, right? A man can dream. But yeah, it's been. Irfan, thank you for backing me up on this. It's been a crazy quiet week for gaming, man. I can't guarantee it'll be a shorter stream. If I have to shorten the stream, it's just because at some point I'm not feeling well. I will, obviously I don't want to shorten the stream. I want to have just a regular stream. Yeah, IP gaming, I did see that. And so, yeah, if I run out of things to talk about, I'll refer to your list of topics that we can discuss. So I appreciate that. Matt York, you're saying, man, I've been sick twice in the last month, and I never get sick. I've been sick twice between 2017 and 2023 until this month. Yeah, that sucks, dude. I mean, I've gotten sick plenty of times, but I can't remember. This was not a normal sickness for me. This wasn't oh, I have a slight fever or a cough or a sore throat or stuffed sinuses. I mean, this was all in the gut. There was one day where I had really bad body aches, but yeah, whatever this virus is, dude, I'm not kidding. It has annihilated my gut, and it sucks. So I'm hoping that, in the coming week, I'm fully recovered, because it's very annoying. It's very, very annoying. But I appreciate all the well wishes, guys. And yeah, make sure you take care of yourself. The season's, well, I guess the season already has kind of changed, but the weather's changing. And it seems like every time the weather changes abruptly, it just leads to people getting very, very sick suddenly with all different types of stuff. And even if you don't go outside, right? Even if you don't go outside or interact with people, you still somehow end up getting sick. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Planet Schlorpian, some kombucha, some probiotics. I do have some kefir in the fridge. I think after the stream, I'm gonna have some of that. Try to throw some probiotics into the system. You don't like kombucha? Dude, kombucha is pretty good. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Kombucha, but I've had it a couple times. It does have a very vinegar-like taste to it. Vinegar. Food poisoning? No, I don't think it was food poisoning. Well, no, I don't think it was food poisoning. No, because food poisoning usually doesn't come with like severe body aches and stuff, as far as I'm aware. Um, I don't. That would suck if it was food poisoning, but anyway, guys, let me tell you what topics we have lined up today. We're talking about the SOCOM rumor. I did bring this up originally, and I wrote it off because I thought for sure that the SOCOM rumor had nothing to it, but it turns out that there may possibly, and you got to take it with a big grain of salt, there just might be something to the SOCOM rumor. So, at the very least, I figured we could talk about SOCOM once again. It's a game that a lot of people want to see PlayStation bring back to the forefront. We're going to be talking about Stellar Blade. The hype for Stellar Blade is real, and as we are approaching the release of this game in just like a week and a half or so, or 2 weeks, you could tell this game's going to do some big numbers. I think people are really rallying behind Stellar Blade to send a clear message to Western video game developers and Western video game publishers. But yeah, it seems like the game is going to do incredibly well. We're going to talk a little bit more about Sea of Thieves on PlayStation. We're going to talk a little bit more about Helldivers. We're going to talk about Final Fantasy because we have some, I would say, good news, but also not good news about Final Fantasy to go over. And as you can see, I want to talk about the calm before the storm with PlayStation. I guess that's the way I want it to word it because honestly, I'm thinking like, things really have been abnormally quiet. And usually, not all the time, but usually that happens when something is about to go down. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And who knows what other topics will pop up over the course of the stream. Again, this might be a more free-flowing stream because of the nature of this week and the fact that there was just very little to discuss and talk about. But yeah, glad to have you guys here with me. We have a $2 super chat from Planet Schlorpian saying, I had the same N virus last month, MBG. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. It's brutal. It's brutal. The thing that gets me about it is how long it takes to recover from it. It's unexpected. It hits you hard and fast, and it just kind of leaves you in this state of like, okay, well, that happened. But yeah, guys, before we dive into any of these topics, I want to let you guys know a couple of ways you can help support me, the community, and the channel. Obviously, being here, watching the content, watching the streams live, shout out to you guys for that. But I also want to shout out everybody who watches the streams later on. I know not everybody can catch them live, so if you're tuning in later on, thank you for that. Okay, my window's open and somebody is violently screaming outside. Yo, what is going on out there? No, it's not. No, that really caught me off guard because that was really okay. All right. I'm sure everything's fine. You can't hear it? Okay, it's probably for the best. That really caught me off guard. That was very loud. It probably can't come through the mic. Look and see. You know what? I'm just gonna mind my own business, bro. I'm doing my thing here. Don't know what's going on outdoors. Anyway, yeah, guys, hit that like button. If you enjoy the streams, if you enjoy tuning in, hitting that like button definitely helps them out. And there are 3 ways you can support my channel, this community, and the content directly. I am fan-funded here. I do rely on your direct support, the direct support of this community to be able to continue to do this. There are 3 ways you can do that. Become a channel member, gain access to some exclusive perks, gift channel memberships if you are already a member, and last but certainly not least, consider donating a super chat, ask a question, give an opinion, make a statement, anything in between. It all helps tremendously. And we have Exley Get Some Trismegistus coming in.
Say hello to democracy.
Saying hello to democracy.
Get some.
Dropping not 5, but actually 10 membership gifts for you guys before we even dive into the first topic today. And this actually is a good reminder for me to shout out the top donors for the channel last week. We've been having some big weeks here certainly on the channel. And so last week we have Corey, the legend Landiga, coming in with the Platinum Trophy. We have with the Gold Trophy, Steven Leon. With the Silver Trophy, we have Matt Fu. And then with the Bronze Trophy, we have our good friend here, actually Trismegistus. Actually, get some Trismegistus. I forgot to put that in the on screen here. But yeah, shout out to these guys for doing some seriously heavy lifting for this community. Like I say, those of you who donate directly, whether it be through membership gifts or anything else, you are basically the sponsors of the channel. So thank you for that, actually. Let me add that to the counter. And just a reminder before we dive into the topics, you know how this goes by now. If we hit our goal of 25 members, I will bring Boss in and we will give Boss some of his snacks and we'll hang out with him for a while. If we hit 50 members, I will attempt to... Oops, I went to 11 there by accident. Not a big deal. But if we hit 50 members today, I will attempt to do some repetitions at the end of the stream. And this time, we'll see if I can attempt to do them without vomiting everywhere or passing out or something like that. So it should be a good time. But yes, let me begin here with the SOCOM rumor. Yeah, no problem, actually. No problem. I'm glad you enjoy it, man. Thank you for all the support. We're going to start with the SOCOM rumor. I feel like this is the most appropriate topic to start with because I did mention it again very briefly, but I completely wrote it off. I basically... So here's the situation with the SOCOM rumor. I'm going to read this article from PlayStation Lifestyle. It says, rumors of a SOCOM PS5 game have reemerged after fans spotted the title in a late actor's resume. And hold on, I actually meant to... There we go. My nose is reflecting that light. That's weird. Sorry, I just wanted to change the lighting a little bit there. I feel like that's not bright enough. That's fine. That's fine. My nose is just going to be a little shiny. But it says here, David Veitch, who passed away in January of 2022 at age 54, apparently did motion capture work for Sony on something called SOCOM 111. And it doesn't look like he meant the 2005's PS2 game SOCOM 3 U.S. Navy SEALs. Rumors of a new SOCOM game first emerged in 2019 when insider Titix claimed that Guerrilla Games had been tapped for the task. They previously claimed in 2017 that Sony was looking for the right developer to bring the series back, but since then Titix hasn't necessarily been the most reliable. The rumors were largely dismissed and forgotten about. Fast forward to this weekend when a Redditor discovered Veitch's resume, which is still up on Actors Access website at the time of this writing. Veitch did motion capture work on something called SOCOM 111, which some say might be another way of saying SOCOM 3. However, Veitch is nowhere to be found, and this is the important part. This actor, this mocap actor, is nowhere to be found in the game's credits, and none of his work is listed on IMDb. None of his work listed on IMDb mention SOCOM. So, yeah, this is what I totally overlooked and makes this very interesting. And we have Aries09 keeping the membership train going. Aries09 drops a membership gift for you guys, which brought us to 11. But then we have Paul Ganell, longtime member, coming in, keeping this going, dropping 5 more membership gifts for you guys, bringing us up to 16 on the day. So Paul,
thank you,
and Aries09, thank you guys for that. And you know what?
Enough from me. We're gonna have
we'll
the
throw
games
Jim Ryan in there. I'm gonna be trying to play some more Jim Ryan since he's officially retired. But we're approaching the showcase season. Legendary quote there. So thank you for that, guys. We are now at 16 members on the day. So just like that, we are less than 10 away from hitting the first goal, which is awesome to see. So thank you for that. But you see, that's what makes this situation with SOCOM so interesting, and I was not aware of this. When I dismissed this initially, I thought to myself that, okay, this is just bogus because this actor clearly worked on SOCOM 3, and that's why he listed it as SOCOM 111. But what really kind of changed it around for me was when people did some digging, and they realized that this actor is nowhere to be found on the credits, or for the credits, for not just SOCOM 3, but any SOCOM game. And so it makes me think, holy shit, is it happening? Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I mean, this is just a very small sliver of hope, and we could end up disappointed, but that really kind of was like, oh, all right, maybe there is something to this. And as I'm talking about SOCOM, we got Exley coming in. Exley's doing some heavy lifting for the community today, dropping another 5-bomb for you guys. 5 more memberships from Exley. But on top of that, we have Fred, ADHD Vance coming in, dropping 5 memberships. Then we have PS Therapy dropping 5 membership gifts. PS Therapy, I don't know if, I feel like this is the first time I'm seeing you on the channel, let alone dropping some membership gifts. And then we have our good friend Hellbound 1981 dropping another 5-bomb. Look at that, a full-blown membership train back to back to back. You guys just annihilated the 25 member goal. And now we are sitting at 36 members. So you know how it goes. It's very appropriate that Hellbound is the last one here to drop a 5-bomb, because this means we're going to bring Boss in a little bit, and we're going to give him his snacks. I know he's looking forward to that. So guys, let me update this member goal. We will continue our conversation.
Holy shit.
Just like that, dude. Just like that. We're sitting at 36 members. You guys are killing it. Let me update this. I really wish there was a faster way to do this. I really do. I'm sure there is. I just haven't discovered it yet. But I know you guys don't mind. I know you guys don't mind. But what are you guys thinking about this SOCOM rumor? Like, are you feeling like this could actually be a new SOCOM game, like for PS5 or Revival? Or are you thinking that this is just some confusion with an actor's resume? I'm really torn on this one. And we have Matt Fu coming in. Matt Fu coming in out of nowhere. You guys are keeping this thing alive and thriving today. Matt Fu drops 10 more memberships on you guys. He drops a 10-bomb. Matt Fu kept us waiting on this one.
Kept you waiting.
He just brought us up to 46 members. That is insane. I'm shocked right now that we are 4 away from hitting 50 members already. You guys definitely want to see me do those reps today. You definitely want to see me projectile vomit as I'm doing some as I'm doing some reps. PS Therapy, you're saying, I used to be The Rock, if you remember. Okay, man. Yeah, I remember. I was wondering, I was like, is this a new community member, or is this somebody who, because I know sometimes you guys change your names and your profile pictures, so I appreciate you letting me know about that, PS Therapy. I like the name, PS Therapy. We're going to need that. We're going to need that potentially after this year's showcase. I know Gaming Survivor is going to need that. And Exley does it, dude. Exley does it before we can even hit the half-hour mark. Exley drops another 5 memberships for you guys following Matt Fu's 10-bomb. And I got to give you another holy shit, because you just crushed 2 goals. We are at 51 members, guys. 51 members. Thank you so much for the support. I really mean that. I was feeling pretty down this past week from being sick and not being able to stream and not being able to hang out with you guys. And I was like a little, that's how it is for all YouTubers, I guess, or streamers. You go more than like 2 or 3 days and you start to worry like, oh no, everybody's going to leave now. And, I failed to make any content, and you guys are here in force, showing some love, showing some support. Really appreciate it, guys. Let me update this goal again. And so what we'll do is when we finish going over a couple of these topics, I'll bring in Boss. We'll give him some of his snacks, and by the end of the stream, we'll do some reps as well, because you guys definitely earned that. Good stuff. Good stuff. 51 members. That's crazy. You guys never cease to amaze me. Yeah, Gaming Survivor knows. Gaming Survivor knows. He's like, yeah, last year we needed that therapy, bro. I really needed therapy after that showcase. I dressed up as Big Boss for that showcase, man. I think that showcase gave me a stomach ulcer. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding either. But I agree, actually. You guys do rock. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up this poll. I'm putting up this poll. I want you guys to vote on it. I'm asking you, do you think we will get a new SOCOM for PS5? I put 3 options, either yes, no, or 50-50 chance. I feel like I had to put a 50-50 chance in there because I feel like that's how a lot of people feel. That's kind of how I feel. Here's what's interesting to me about the SOCOM conversation is I feel like we've been hearing about SOCOM off and on pretty much since this generation started. And it really did kind of start with that rumor that Guerrilla Games was potentially the one making a new SOCOM game for PS5. And that made a lot of sense. Well, it made a lot of sense in one way, but in another way, it didn't make the most sense because on one hand, we had Guerrilla Games with their expertise in first-person shooters with Killzone, but when you look at SOCOM, that's more of a tactical third-person shooter. But we also found out that Guerrilla Games had hired the lead director and developer who worked on Rainbow Six Siege, one of the most popular tactical shooters on the market. And a lot of people thought, like, oh man, he must have been hired to work on SOCOM. And this is where I just kind of can't drop this rumor that, like, you know, now we're seeing this actor's resume and he's not featured on any credits. It's like, holy shit, has Sony actually been working this entire time behind the scenes on a new SOCOM game? I don't know, man. I want to believe. I'm on the hopium right now, man. And we had PS Therapy coming in, dropping another 5 bomb for you guys. PS Therapy is not letting this membership train slow down today. He says we are going the distance, man. PS Therapy wants to see us hit a 3rd goal today, which means even more reps. So PS Therapy.
Thank you. Appreciate
Really appreciate that, man. Let me throw in a, let's see, what should I throw in here? How about we do
not be sorry.
Another Kratos.
Be better.
I came across this really great video that I was watching. It's a long one. It was like a breakdown of Kratos. It was something about like the masculinity of Kratos or something like that, where it was basically breaking down God of War 2018 and really just like kind of diving deep into the relationship between him and Atreus. It was a really good video. I'll have to give you the title of it before the end of the stream, because I definitely recommend it to anybody who is a fan of the recent God of War games. What are we at? 50. So we're at 56 members, guys. Really quick, I see you guys. Well, actually, I have Aiden here. Sorry. Aiden with a $5 super chat saying, talking about the calm before the storm, did you notice Santa Monica hasn't tweeted in over 13 days? You know, I would say that I've noticed, but I haven't really been on Twitter lately. I've been taking a break from Twitter. Like, I go on like occasionally, and what really kind of stopped me from going on is every time I would log on, I would hope to see news about gaming, and instead I would just see nonsense. And I'm like, all right, this app has become totally useless. It's not even giving me relevant information that I'm looking for. But that is interesting, because what I do remember is that prior to the last 13 days, they seemingly were tweeting out quite a bit, like multiple times throughout the week. I'm really starting to think that, you know, part of this calm before the storm is we're going to see Santa Monica show up at this year's showcase. Again, I don't want to get my hopes too high for that, just because I'm trying to be understanding that this new project they're working on, it is a new IP. A new IP is the most difficult thing, especially in the AAA space, to develop. It takes the longest, and a lot of things can go wrong. And so the timelines can really be drawn out. But I can't kind of help but focus on the fact that Cory Barlog, who is apparently directing this new game, he has very subtly seemingly been teasing his excitement for it. And kind of, you know, we know what Cory Barlog likes to do. He likes to troll the fans a little bit. He likes to tease the fans a little bit. But I don't know, man. I'm just thinking the fact that we're hearing that a showcase is coming, and we're seeing this from Cory Barlog. And again, I just want to throw this out there. I mentioned it in a previous stream, but it's worth bringing up here really quick. Sony trademarked the title Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. I think that's what it's called. Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. And I look at something like that. Sony's trademarking it. It's out there in broad daylight. Everybody can see it. We have Cory Barlog seemingly talking about his excitement about this game he's working on, the progress that's being made, and seemingly teasing it. It's like, well, could the time be now, or next month, I should say. And that's the thing that's really kind of got me thinking about this new IP, is just that we are so close to Sony seemingly doing something. This could very well be the calm before the storm. I really have to wonder how people are going to respond to this new game, because the thing about this new game is it could be anything. It could be anything. I mean, one thing I do feel confident in saying, relatively confident, is knowing that this is going to be a brand new game from Sony Santa Monica, knowing that Cory Barlog has worked on God of War for nearly his whole career, I have a distinct feeling that this new IP from them is going to be very different. Like, just very, very different in many ways from God of War. To the point where it's like, I don't know, man. It's just going to be so... I can't really make any more assumptions beyond that, because it's going to be so fascinating to see this team come out and be like, hey, we made, what is that game, Kinetica, for like the PS2, and then after that, we just made nothing but God of War, and then here's our brand new project. It could be like literally anything, for better or for worse. But I'm excited. What if it looks like Avowed? I feel like there's a low chance of that, because Avowed kind of has Avowed is very clearly inspired by the Elder Scrolls, and if there, I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't get the feeling that, I don't get the feeling that this new IP is inspired by like any Bethesda type. I mean, I don't know. It is going to be like an RPG. That's something that was kind of revealed, I think, in a job listing. So it could have some inspiration from Bethesda, but I don't think it would necessarily go in that direction. Like, I'm not expecting like a kind of high fantasy type situation. I am thinking it's something in space. Santa Monica's version of Starfield. Yeah, but even then, I feel like it still will be very different, because the one thing I feel also pretty confident in is that whatever this new IP is from Santa Monica Studio, I do think it's going to lean very heavily in the direction of, a heavy narrative focus. Character-driven, story-driven, very narrative-heavy, and it could be open world. There could be a lot of freedom. There could be a lot of exploration. Of course, these are all things that could be part of the game. But I feel more confident that seeing how good the story of God of War 2018 and Ragnarok, where it's like, yeah, you gotta deliver a great story here with some great characters, huh? Kinetica 2, yeah, that's what it's gonna be. That's clearly what it's gonna be. But yeah, if we're talking about the calm before the storm, Aiden, I definitely think that Sony Santa Monica and this new game that they're working on could very well fall into that category of, like you're saying, calm before the storm. They're getting very quiet. Maybe they're hunkering down, all hands on deck. They're preparing for this big reveal. Maybe that's why we're not really hearing from them. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I hope it's true, though, man. I hope it's true. But to wrap up I still have more to say about SOCOM before I move on. Here's a question I have for you guys, like shifting gears here, going back in the direction of SOCOM. When I talked about Guerrilla Games possibly being the studio working on it, which I don't know if they are or not, but if Guerrilla was to work on a SOCOM game, to me what would be weird about that is like, it's kind of this feeling of, well, does that mean they're going to turn it into a first-person shooter? And that's kind of the question I want to ask you guys. For those of you who are fans of SOCOM or who have played the past SOCOM games, how would you feel if Sony did announce a new SOCOM for PS5, but the big change is it's actually going to be in first person now. Or maybe it's a third person game where when you aim, you actually go into first person. That's a pretty common thing these days. I'm just curious about this because I don't know, man. I do want to put it out there that, and I'm going to double check this really quick, actually. So, because it's been a while since I talked about it. Let me see if I can find them. So look, interesting. So I'm looking at the Twitter profile of Simon LaRouche, online game director at Guerrilla. Worked on Watch Dogs 2, Rainbow Six Siege, Splinter Cell, Killzone 2, Far Cry Instinct. So the Simon LaRouche developer, he has been, listen, here's what's crazy. He's been working on whatever this multiplayer game is at Guerrilla. He's been working on it since 2018, man. Since 2018. And look, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm assuming that that's what he's working on. He's working on a SOCOM. I do think it is still much more likely that this multiplayer game that's being developed is a Horizon game. But what's really strange to me about it is I feel like there's been some confusion, I think, about like what is going on with these multiplayer projects at Guerrilla, because we know that NCSoft has apparently partnered with Guerrilla Games to make this multiplayer title, but there again, it's like, are there two different multiplayer titles? Is this just one big Horizon live service game that it's going to have like a mobile version that's being handled by NCSoft, but Guerrilla's handling like the console side of it? I think that could be a possibility. But there is, again, I'm not trying to feed you guys too much hopium here or allow you to breathe too much in, but you do just have to kind of wonder a little bit after coming across this job listing, or not the job listing, but the this actor's resume, and the fact that nobody can figure out like which SOCOM game did this guy work on. Like nothing is showing up here. You do have to start to wonder, like, I mean, has there like been a team at Guerrilla Games this entire time working on a SOCOM game, and this multiplayer live service Horizon game has actually been worked on by a much smaller team in conjunction with NCSoft? I don't know. I feel like, again, the more I talk about it out loud, the more that sounds unrealistic to me. No, Dark Demon Media, I know. You're saying that the actor passed away, and that's true. That's true, and that's unfortunate. He passed away in 2022, and it is an older listing. But again, the thing that I can't look away from is the fact that people who discovered this, they dug deeper, Dark Demon Media, and they wanted to see, like, okay, if he's listing the game as SOCOM 111, he probably just means SOCOM 3. I mean, to be honest, that's a weird way to list the game. You know what I mean? I don't know why you would label it as SOCOM 111 and not just SOCOM 3, considering that's what it was called. But nobody can find this guy in the credits, this guy's name, this mocap actor's name. They cannot find his name in any of the credits of these games. And so it has given SOCOM fans some semblance of hope. Yeah, I mean, you do got to wonder, like, is that, Unit 111? Is that, like, could it stand for something like that? I've been saying for a long time that I think Sony has been making a mistake by not doing something with the SOCOM IP. I feel like there's a lot of potential for Sony to deliver like a really solid SOCOM reboot of some kind for the PS5 that can be highly competitive. I mean, SOCOM was always very highly competitive, and I know that a lot of people created clans and as like MLG back in the day, and you know there would be these different tournaments and whatnot. And it's interesting to think that Sony is more heavily involved with like esports than ever before. They bought Evo, you know, and it just, to me, it just seems like a no-brainer. I mean, maybe the real difficult part about a new SOCOM game is finding the right developer and handling it properly. That I could see how that could be difficult, because I think it was it Zipper Interactive? They were the last ones. You know, the last SOCOM game they made was for the PS3. I think it was SOCOM 4. And I think that game was kind of criticized a little bit for being more, you know, it kind of started to chase the trends a little bit of, I remember a lot of people kind of saying like they basically turned it into like a third-person Call of Duty or something like that. I don't know how much truth there is to that because I've never played it. But, yeah, 111 also stands for the Roman numeral 3. Yeah, I know, dude, and that's the whole thing about it. You know? That's the whole thing where it's like hold on, let me double check this real quick. See, that's what's even stranger to me about this is if you look at SOCOM 3, they don't use a Roman numeral. They just use the number 3. SOCOM 3, U.S. Navy SEALs. So I feel like that makes it even stranger where it's like, why would you list that out in a Roman numeral? Like it would just confuse people, especially if it's on like your resume. I don't know. I'm probably just clinging on to too much hope here, but if there's one thing that I definitely will, you know, I'll plant my flag here once again, and that is that I think Sony needs to do something with the SOCOM IP. I think it's one of the more I mean, Sony has a lot of IP that has a ton of potential, but I just get this feeling that if they were to create a AAA SOCOM for PS5, highly competitive, try to stay as true as you can to the original games and to the roots, but also obviously modernize it and, you know, make changes that definitely need to happen. If they can do something like that, I think it would do very well. I just get that feeling. I think it would get a really solid response from the fan base, from the PlayStation community, but I think it could also have like wider reaching potential. And so regardless of if there is actually a new SOCOM game in development, I really do feel that Sony would do well to do something with this IP and not just sit on it. SOCOM 3 remake. Oh, that would be interesting. I don't know if that would, I don't know what. I mean, I guess if a SOCOM game was going to get a remake, would that be the one to remake? Yeah, people loved SOCOM, man. I only played it a little bit back in the day. I never got too deeply into it, and I appreciated it for what it was. But I think I was just a little too young at the time. Like I couldn't really get into the whole competitive aspect of it. Because again, I was very young, so I was just like, I kind of sucked at it, to be honest. And I think it just kind of turned me off from the game. But you know, now that I'm much older, obviously, I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'd love to see SOCOM return and give that a solid chance again. And I would just love to see like how different it would be, how good it could be. Saying no one wants lazy remasters. No, I agree with that. You just never know which direction Sony's going to go in with some of these IP. But time will tell, guys. Time will tell. I guess I should also just throw this in here before we move on to the next topic. I'm not necessarily going into the next PlayStation show if it does happen next month, I'm not going in anticipating a SOCOM announcement. If a SOCOM announcement happened, I would be shocked. I'd be like, whoa, okay. Like there was maybe like 10% of me that thought this could be possible, and it would be a genuine surprise. So hopefully that kind of makes it clear where I stand with the whole SOCOM situation right now. Kyle, you're saying we need a new IP like Concord to hit more than a SOCOM revival. Yeah, I do agree with that mostly in this particular instance because, yeah, I don't want to see Concord flop. I don't want to see that game flop because if Concord flops, then at that point, it will basically indicate that Sony made a mistake purchasing that studio. So I'm hoping that Concord, when we do see it, it's like I don't expect it to blow up the world and be like, whoa, this is the next big thing. You know, again, like I wasn't expecting that with Helldivers, and that's what happened. I feel like you'd have to be very lucky to have that happen twice, 2 times in a row, back to back. But I'm just expecting it to hopefully be. Well, it's not an expectation, but what I want it to be is I want Concord to just be a solid-looking game that when people see it for the first time in action are like, you know what, this actually looks pretty good. This looks pretty fun, and that's it. I don't expect it to be anything more or less than that, or I don't want it to be anything less than that. It would be nice if it was more than that, but, All right, so guys, that's going to wrap up the first topic there, talking about SOCOM. We're going to move on to the next topic, which is talking about Stellar Blade. And before I do that, guys, again, hit that like button. We're sitting at 130 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 150, maybe 175. I'd really appreciate that. We have almost 450 people here, so we should be able to hit that. Got a really interesting article here from Push Square. It says, a recent analysis has revealed an interesting statistic about a pair of playable demos on the PS5. According to Ampere, Stellar Blade's demo at its peak had almost twice the number of daily active players compared to the peak of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's demo. Apparently, the Korean action RPG's best day saw the demo accrue about 690,000 daily active users, so that's nearly 700,000. The demo for Square Enix's anticipated sequel, meanwhile, managed roughly at its peak 380,000. It's an interesting analysis. The two games are both major PS5 exclusives this year and are in a similar ballpark in terms of genre. However, Stellar Blade is a new IP with much to prove, while Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is obviously part of an established series. And the demo arrived to a lot of hype and expectation. We imagine many were curious to see whether Shift Up's action title would be worth picking up, while many fans of Final Fantasy were perhaps hesitant to play through the Rebirth demo in order to save the experience for the full game's release. In that case, we can understand the difference in the player figures here. As Ampere points out, though, the Rebirth demo's 380,000 peak player translated to about 2.2 million daily active players at launch. Stellar Blade may not be able to match that trajectory as it doesn't have the same brand recognition or level of anticipation. Now, this is strange to me well, not what's happening with the demo, but I think at least this Push Article Square that I read, or Push Article Square, oh my God, I can't talk. This Push Square article that I just read, I think they're underplaying this a little bit. I do. I understand that it's like, is Stellar Blade gonna be? Oh wow, boss, dude, I didn't even know you were in here. What the hell? Where were you? Yo. Boss just scared the shit out of me, dude. I thought he was in the other room. And he just was walking underneath my feet, and I was like, bro. Okay. A wild boss has appeared, like, legit this time. Here I was thinking, like, I gotta wait to bring him in. He's been in here the whole time. The silent assassin. Well, I guess I should give him some snacks, and we'll continue this conversation. That was, dude, that really, I almost jumped out of my seat for a second. Like, it took a good second or so for my brain to like realize that's boss. Just relax, MBG. It's all good. It's just boss. All right, boss. These guys killed the first goal today. So here you go, man. Bon appetit. Boss, if you finish those, I'll give you some more a little bit later. If we end up hitting 75 members, I'll give Boss a second round of snacks. All right? I wasn't expecting that. Getting back to the topic at hand here, talking about Stellar Blade. I understand, like, the idea of, like, wow, is a brand new IP like Stellar Blade, like, is it possible it could outsell Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? I think, yeah, I do. I do think that's actually very possible because I knew there was hype for Stellar Blade, and I knew, especially after we saw the trailer that they dropped in January at the State of Play, I knew that, okay, this game is definitely reaching like another level of excitement. But once I started to realize that there's a kind of rallying around this game now, which is good, and I'm glad, because like I do think this is necessary at this point in time to send a clear message to the entire gaming industry to stop acting like weirdos about everything. And just kind of, you know, again, send the clear message of this development team. They made a creative decision that seems to be speaking directly to a market. And that market is, as of right now, responding in a very positive way because this particular market has been feeling like they've been ignored or pushed aside or, preached to over and over again by Western game developers. And it's pretty clear that, like, look, I don't know the decision-making process that went into Stellar Blade. But to me, it feels difficult to overlook the fact, at least it would feel like I'm overlooking something, if I don't acknowledge that, like, I just feel like this development team knew what they were doing, right? Like, they just knew that, like, look, we're going to make a great quality game, an action RPG, great mechanics, hopefully some great boss battles, some great visuals, some great graphics, hopefully a great story as well. But when it comes to the character of Eve, they absolutely knew what they were doing. And I just think it's one of these situations where it's like the right place at the right time where, yeah, I think you're right. I think a key part of this game now is a lot of people feel like it's not just about buying, playing, and enjoying the game. Obviously, that's a big part of it. Like, you're not going to buy a game if you're not interested in it. But it really is also about sending a message. So there's kind of like this added layer of, or if not urgency, it seems like people want to support this game in earnest. You know? Like, they want to earnestly support this game. And to me, this is a clear indicator of that, because I understand that, you know, Push Square is trying to paint the picture here where it's like, okay, well, Stellar Blade probably had over double the amount or close to double the amount of, people playing the demo because people were much more unsure about it. I don't think that's the case. I think that's a big reason for a large chunk of those people, but I think I think what we're seeing is we're about to see a title explode. That's what I think is going to happen. I could be wrong, and I would be quite surprised if I was wrong, because it would reveal that, man, it was just all talk, right? Like, it was all just internet hyperbole. But what I'm beginning to think is that this game is pre-ordering really, really, really well, and this game is on track to, in the same way that Helldivers 2, like, just blew past Arrowhead and Sony's expectations, where they were like, holy shit, we did not expect this to be that successful. Yeah, I'm going to react. Shelly, we're going to react to that towards the end of the stream. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot to mention that. I do want to bring that up. You're saying the message is that there's a bunch of perverts and 90% of the sales will be them. No, I don't. Look. I mean, again, are there some people that I think take it too far? Of course, but that's with everything. You know, I don't view it that way though. Like, I just think the message to me. Look, I cannot sit here and say that my number one reason for buying Stellar Blade is because of the way they made this main character look. That is not my number one reason. My number one reason for buying Stellar Blade is because, well, I saw the trailers previously and I thought, damn, this actually looks pretty good. Gameplay, like the gameplay always stood out to me. And I always said, I want to see more of it and I want to experience it. And I got to do just that in the demo. And so for me, it's like, and I think this is for most people, it's, damn, this is a solid quality video game that also happens to feature an extremely attractive female. And I think that's the message, dude. Like, the message is very simple and it's very clear. And I do, again, are there some extremist people out there that are taking the message too far and being like a bit perverted about it? Yes. Yes, I think that's true. But most people, the message is simply, we just want beautiful women in our video games again. And that's it. You know, like, it's fine that we're going to have games that feature not so beautiful women, but we just want to see beautiful people in our video games again. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I you know, look, I'm not going to speak for the other side of it. Like, do females want attractive males in video games for the females that do play video games? I don't know. I can't speak for that. I could only speak for myself as a male. And that is like, yeah, I've never minded attractive females in my video games. And I've never minded unattractive females in video games to the extent where it's like, I'm not touching this game or I'm not going to play it if it seems like a good game. But I've always minded the fact that there seemed to be some kind of, again, a group of people that were actively, that like they are actively against, like, no, we cannot make females look attractive. It's like, why not though? Like, I'm not saying you don't have the autonomy. Like, obviously you have the autonomy. Like, make a character however you want. But what's up with that? What's up with that mentality of like, no, we can't make them attractive, or we need to avoid that. Like, that, to me, that's where things veer into weird territory. To me, that's the same as a development team saying that every character has to be the most over-sexualized, in your fucking face. Like, okay, that's a bit too extreme too, you know? Like, it doesn't have to be all that all the time. But I just think that the message, the reason why so many people are willing to back this game up in such a significant way is just simply like, we want some sexy female characters in our games. It's that simple. You know, it's that simple. Are there a lot of horny males out there that are like, yeah, I want to see an attractive female if I'm going to play as one? Yes. And listen, I don't make the rules. I don't decide these things. That's just the reality. And that's why Stellar Blade's going to succeed, because during a time when there are so many developers, seemingly Western developers, actively trying to push back against this and say, no, we can't do that. That's not progress. You know, you have this development team out here that's like, look, we're going to make a great action RPG and we're going to put a really sexy female as the lead. So we hope you enjoy that. And the market is responding by just simply saying, okay, yes, I will buy that game. That sounds like a great game. Yeah, we're gonna bring that up at the end of this topic, actually. Once I'm finished saying everything I have to say about Stellar Blade, I want to bring up, there's like a 7-minute video you guys have been really asking me to react to, kind of behind the scenes with Stellar Blade. I think Sony published it the other day on their channel. And so we'll definitely react to that. But getting back to the sales of Stellar Blade, something that seems pretty clear to me at this point is that Stellar Blade is going to do incredibly well. Could it do better than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? I think so. I do. And I want to bring up this topic about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because I just think it's important to go over this, because I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, what's going on with Final Fantasy. And I'm not trying to make it seem doom and gloom. Like, I know that some people get naturally like knee-jerk defensive over this, and just keep in mind, like, I'm just reporting what's going, like, I'm just reporting the news, and I'll give my thoughts on it. But generally speaking, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Final Fantasy. So this is being reported by WCCF Tech. It says here that, hold on, let me see. It says, according to Daniel Ahmad, Director of Research and Insights at Nico Partners, the game is severely underperforming in sales compared to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Here's what he wrote on Twitter. Not to be that guy, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is underperforming sales-wise. It's selling about half of what Remake sold in the same time frame and looks like it will have a weaker tail prior to any PS Plus-like release. Ahmad cited Equity's research reports that gets data from the usual trackers. Publicly, we know that the game ranked 5th on the UK's March 2024 chart, topped by Helldivers 2. And so there are a couple of things we do have to factor in here when talking about this, when comparing specifically to Final Fantasy VII Remake. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because we're seeing the demo for Rebirth being compared to the demo of Stellar Blade, and how way more people played the Stellar Blade demo than Rebirth. And now we're hearing this news about, or this report about the sales of Rebirth. When Final Fantasy VII Remake launched, it launched in April of 2020, and there were, I think by that point, 100 million plus PS4s out there. So pretty much double the amount of install base. But it was also right in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, when people were in lockdown. And I think it's very obvious that these two factors greatly boosted the sales potential of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I think what it really truly reveals is that, like, I'll put it to you this way. I think the sales we're seeing of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth right now are more accurate to what Remake's sales would have been if the COVID lockdowns weren't happening. And also, just think of this for a moment. What would the sales of Final Fantasy VII Remake, what would they have looked like if it released when there were about 56 million PS4s on the market and not 100 million? How much would that have changed it? I think that would have changed it quite substantially. So I don't think Rebirth is failing, but I do think it's just the reality of, like, it might not do as well as some people had thought. But I don't think that makes it a failure. But at this point, do I think Stellar Blade? I don't know, man. That, to me, that's the real question I want answered. I know they're different games, but, like, is Stellar Blade actually going to outsell a game like Rebirth? Because that would be kind of bonkers if that happened. Perfect Image with a $5 super chat saying, with SOCOM using Decima and NCSoft, it would be great. It would not beat Call of Duty. Stellar Blade is using Unreal Engine 4 with 60 FPS. Understand how Sony chooses engines, 4K, 60 FPS, and graphics. Yes. Yeah, dude, if Stellar Blade was developed in Unreal Engine 5, it would probably be running at like 964p at 30 frames per second. I mean, it would look great, but that's probably how it would be performing. But I still think the game looks great. And instead, we're getting, 4K 60, 1440p 60. Sounds good to me. Oh, I didn't even think about that, though, man. Going back to SOCOM for a minute, you're talking about the idea of SOCOM using the Decima engine. Oh, my God. That would be insane, dude. Now, that's a game I would like to see. So Perfect Image, I appreciate that super chat, buddy. But yeah, I just think we're seeing a really interesting kind of situation pop up here, where it seems clear that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is not doing nearly as well as Remake, and this has left people feeling like, somewhat concerned, I guess, about You know what's interesting is I've seen people blaming PS5 exclusivity, and I don't I don't really feel like it made that big of a difference. Like, did it make a difference? Certainly. Did it make that big of a difference? Like, was PS5 exclusivity the difference between, let's say, like 2.5 million in sales and 5 or 6 million in sales? I don't think so. It could have been. I mean, it's worth noting that the game's probably going to be coming to PC in like May or June. So if it's true that the game needs to be on PC in order to do well, we're going to find out sooner rather than later, I think. But sorry, there's just all these different sounds going on around me right now, and I don't know what I keep hearing these sounds outside, dude. This is why I don't open my window. I just want to hear birds chirping, bro. And maybe like a lawnmower or something. I keep hearing these weird ass sounds. I'm like, what the fuck is going on out there? I'm so paranoid. Final Fantasy 16 sold 3 million in 5 days with less PS5s, though. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think it's safe to say that Rebirth is selling less than 16, and that I will say that like that to me would be concerning. You know, if Rebirth is performing worse than 16, yeah, that would definitely be concerning to me, because that's true. When Final Fantasy 16 launched, there were even less PS5s on the market, and it makes you wonder, like, you know, what could have went wrong. Music Hero says, "Arm yourself, MBG, just in case." It's okay. I have Boss here to protect me. Hey, you says, "Yo, no lie, I'm cutting grass while I'm listening to your podcast." That's awesome. Hey, you's probably like, "Yo, he acknowledged my chat." That's funny. I guess you must have stopped literally while you were in the middle of cutting grass to type that. You're saying Rebirth is also the middle game of the trilogy. Many could be waiting for all three. And of course, some people who played Remake haven't upgraded to the PS5 yet. Yeah, it could be that. We're going to see the real question, because I don't doubt the report. Like, the report sounds truthful. Like, I don't see why they would lie about it. It seems like it is underperforming compared to Remake. The one thing the report says is that apparently, based off of what they're seeing, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to have a shorter tail than Remake. And that, to me, is the most concerning part, if that turns out to be true. Because if that were to actually be the case, then that means it's like the opposite. Like, turns out people are not waiting for it; they're just not interested in it, and that would be concerning. But that we don't know. That's just a prediction. It could have a great tail, right? It could be that a lot of people are just waiting for it. They're waiting for the third game, or they just haven't upgraded to the PS5 yet, or maybe they're waiting for it on PC. There's a lot of different factors here. I don't know what to think, to be honest. I don't know what to think. And the reason why I don't really know what to think is because I don't know what Square Enix's actual expectations were. You know, like, did they expect it to sell worse or less than Remake? If so, by how much? Did they, you know, are they like freaking out internally? Where they're like, oh my God, this is doing way worse than we thought. Josh, you're saying the script for part 3 is finished. Yeah, so here's what we're going to do. I got another write-up here for Final Fantasy, and I'm going to read this second write-up for Final Fantasy, and then we're gonna kind of pivot back to talking about Stellar Blade. But it says here from Push Square that it's fairly common knowledge that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth enjoyed a relatively smooth development cycle, owing to the fact that Final Fantasy VII Remake's team was largely kept intact, and the first game had obviously laid the foundations in terms of visuals and gameplay systems. It took Square Enix around 3 years to craft Rebirth, and it expects the same kind of timeline when it comes to the third and final title in the trilogy. That's according to director Yoshinori Kitase. He says that once again, the third game will be put together by the same team, and that the goal is to create another title on par with Remake and Rebirth's overall quality. On that note, it sounds like Part 3's main story is already written, as you might have guessed, and the developers are thinking about recording voice work in the near future. So in short, we can expect the third installment in the Remake trilogy to arrive in 2027. However, it should be noted that an additional year of development was afforded to Remake's Yuffie DLC, which was part of Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate on PS5. We don't know if Rebirth will receive a similar expansion, but if it does, we could be looking at 2028 for the third game. It also says here it's worth mentioning that the PS5 will be 7 years old in November 2027, and by that point, we'll probably be looking towards the next PlayStation console. If previous generations are anything to go by still, the timing makes sense if Square wants to get all 3 games out on the platform. So, yeah, just wanted to kind of throw this in there as well. They're already talking about how they're hitting the ground running with Part 3 and how like it could be ready as soon as 2027. Which would be awesome. I mean, maybe that's where the sales don't really matter as much as we think. If if any of this is true, because it's like, well, if you're having development cycles that are like 3 years, I mean, that's way less. That's way less than most modern AAA games. So, money saved. William, you're saying, MBG, the problem with this whole conversation is that Rebirth requires you to beat Remake to fully understand and enjoy it. 30% of players have completed Remake, which is average, and the PS4 had 2 times the install base of the PS5. I've seen a lot of people bring that up as well, that like one of the main reasons why Rebirth might not sell as well is due to a lot of people just not playing the first one or not finishing the first one. And, that makes sense. If you didn't finish even I was late to Remake. I was very late. I was multiple years late to Remake. So I'm very much like in that boat of, I wasn't a customer, I wasn't a sales number for that game for like the first, 2 years or so. And then I was after that, so yeah, I can't imagine many people would want to play a game like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth without first experiencing Remake, or at least having a very good understanding of the story. I can't imagine what that would be like. I mean, they do a pretty good recap at the beginning of Rebirth, but you're still missing so much. Chris Brown here says, sorry guys, I got Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League for $30 yesterday. Very fun game. Has a lot of story and cutscenes. Genuinely surprised. Can see the hate for the BP, but fun game. Yeah, I saw people talking about the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League Battle Pass, and it's just so weird, dude. Like, Chris, this is something that I've seen, I think, from multiple people regarding Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, is they're basically saying, like, this isn't that bad of a game. It's actually like pretty good story. Like if you go into it playing it like a single player story experience just about the Suicide Squad, it's not that bad. But anytime it becomes clear that like it's, oh yeah, this game was constructed to be a live service game and something that they think people are going to be playing for years, that's when things get very, very strange. And I've talked about Suicide Squad multiple times, and I'll just reiterate what I've said in the past here once again. I don't know what Rocksteady was thinking. I don't know what WB is thinking. I just don't understand. I don't even think it's Rocksteady's fault. I really get the sense that WB strong-armed them and said, you're going to make a live service. Because I don't know how you go from the Arkham trilogy to this. And that's not to, again, like, I'm happy to hear you enjoyed the game, man. And to be honest, that's actually crazy that the game is already $30. I mean, you got to feel kind of sorry for anybody who bought it at 70, right? Because it's like, damn, dude. Damn. But people were asking me quite often before Suicide Squad launched, like, MBG, you planning on playing that, man? You going to be picking up Suicide Squad? And my my feeling on it was pretty much, it's remained consistent the entire time, and that is I'm just not feeling it, man. I'm just not a fan of what they're doing. I'm not a fan of the Suicide Squad, but I'm definitely not a fan of the way they're handling it, and and I still feel that way. But apparently they have like multiple seasons worth of content, and that to me is yeah, I don't know, dude. The Joker is a joke. Yeah, dude, I saw that. I saw the trailer for the Joker, like a cutscene with him, and I'm like, oh dear. Oh dear, what have they done? What is going on? It was very, very painful to watch that. I don't know, man. I don't know what Rocksteady's going to do next. I don't know what WB... well, we know what WB is going to do next. WB is like, yo, we're like doubling and tripling down on live service games, and it's like... sells 23 million copies of Hogwarts Legacy at full price. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League flops because it was built to be a live service. What's the takeaway? More live service. More live service. It's true. Yeah, it is. It's genuinely baffling. Boss, bro, can you come over here? You're in the way of my chat, dude. So yeah, I don't have too much left to say about Final Fantasy. I just wanted to let you guys know about some of these reports. I know it seems like a lot of doom and gloom. I don't know if it is. I'm not going to jump to conclusions. I think it's maybe still too early to determine whether or not Rebirth is a true success. If I had to guess, I'm thinking Square's probably feeling pretty optimistic about it. Like, I would have to guess that Square's probably thinking exactly what a lot of you guys are, which is, let's give it some time. Let's see how it sells in the long run before we jump to any conclusions that this was like a failure, Bro. Come on, guys. You got to step it up here a little bit. We got to get to that 75 goal because Boss he knocked over his treats, man. He's a hungry cat. I fed him this morning too. So he's he's telling me like, yo, I need my second helping of snacks here, bro. The Jonkler. Oh my. Chris, I don't know if you said that purposely, but that's funny as hell. The Jonkler looks ridiculous. The Jonkler. The Joker looks like a TikTok influencer. Oh, man. They really... yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, man. I don't know what they were thinking. Boss, please don't hurt yourself. All right. So let's circle back here to Stellar Blade. Because I do want to talk a little bit more about it. So when it comes to Stellar Blade and the hype, here's what I really am wondering at this point. Now, this is something that I don't think I've heard anybody else talk about this. Maybe somebody has, but I haven't come across it. Leaning more into the side of, okay, a lot of people are viewing Stellar Blade and their decision to go in the visual direction they did with the character of Eve. A lot of people are, again, rallying behind this game, rallying around it, and viewing this game as like a kind of message that they can help send to the wider gaming industry, but specifically as a kind of middle finger to the so-called, the woke game developers, the more liberal game developers that have been certainly putting stuff into games that a lot of people have been saying, like, we don't want this, or we're not fans of this, or we're just not interested in having this stuff put in our games, we just kind of like the more traditional stuff, whatever it is, right? Here's my thing, though, and here's what fascinates me about Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is a PlayStation exclusive, and the reason why Stellar Blade is a PlayStation exclusive is because Sony got directly involved. Somebody at Sony, or a group of people at Sony, said, we really like what we're seeing here. We want to publish your game. Like, we really want to lock your game down. Now, as far as I'm aware, Sony does not own the IP. So this is a bit of a unique situation where Sony's actually letting them retain the IP, but they're getting heavily involved. They're publishing it. They're helping it. Okay, so I guess we learn a little bit more about that. Shelly. Oh, Shuei Yoshida? Is Shu responsible? Okay, good. Maybe we'll get some answers to this. Well, here's what I was going to say. I genuinely wonder how some of the other PlayStation first-party studios, specifically the California studios, or the studios that are considered more woke inside of PlayStation, I really wonder how they feel about this situation, because this situation does kind of fly in the face of what some of these studios, not necessarily even what they put in their games, but just like, I mean, come on, like we know that if your studio's based in California, there's a really good chance they're big fans of it. That's awesome. If that's true, that's awesome. Internally, they're punching air right now. Well, you know what? You know what my hope is, truthfully? Like, I hope it serves as an eye-opening realization for all video game developers, West, East, whatever, just universally. I hope it serves as an eye-opener that, like, dude, we can have both. They can both coexist. It doesn't have to just be one way or the other all the time. There doesn't have to be some kind of like crushing, like mandate where it's like, no, this is how characters have to look all the time in all games, period. And that we can just kind of have a more diversified, slate of characters and stories and that's it. Like, I hope that this game, because that's what's kind of cool, right? Is like, people, it's fascinating to me that a lot of the criticism that a game like Spider-Man 2 got was for like what they did with the character like Mary Jane. And then the same exact video game publisher is also very much like, here's Stellar Blade, baby, And it's like, okay, this could work, this could give us our options. That's it, right? Like, let's see run the whole gamut here. I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. I just hope it doesn't create further unnecessary divide, because I think that's what creates the problem in the first place, is people getting too extreme about it, as I've continued to say, and I will continue to say. Fred Vance says MBG female content creators who played the demo complimented the character designs in Stellar Blade and have said that they will stream the game at launch. But yeah, dude, honestly, like, Mrs. MBG is a fan of the game. She's a fan of Eve and Eve's look and is totally behind it. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like not that Mrs. MBG is like a female content creator, but, I just feel like that's like my own kind of like, oh, all right, yeah, well, cool. It turns out that there are a lot of females that do like being represented that way. They do like supporting characters that look that way. Even if that's not how they look exactly, like in real life. Again, I feel like I kind of used my own, it's not an analogy, but my own example of, it's like when I play a really buff, shredded character in a video game. Like, I think that's cool, Like, do I look like that in real life? No. Do I wish I looked like that? Maybe, yeah, sometimes. Am I going to get all upset about it and punch air and be like, that's not fair? No. Even if it is a little bit unrealistic, I'm still not going to get that way, because that's ridiculous. Like if I see like women like on the internet gushing over how jacked Kratos is and how manly and rugged he is and how awesome his beard is, am I going to get all, you can't feel that way, that's not realistic? No, to me that's ridiculous. That's like high school. That's not even high school. That's like middle school nonsense, dude. We got Planet Schlorpian here saying, I'm actually looking forward to Star Wars Outlaws despite the stupid negativity around it. It's at least a full single-player game without any stupid LS live service shit. That's true. I get it. Yeah. So, yeah, dude, I'm telling you, when I was not all there with the last conversation I had about because I was talking to you in my last stream about Star Wars Outlaws, and some people I realized that I definitely was not on point that day, because some people actually thought I was defending the like $130 price point of Star Wars Outlaws. And I want to make it, I guess this is just a good time for me to clear up. Like I'm not at all defending that. Like I think that's insane. I think it's insane that they're like, play the game 3 days early, you know, and here's some bonus missions and you can get maybe some story content. It's insane, because it's like, dude, like I just get worried that we're going in the wrong direction, because like so many people already feel turned off about the idea of games being $70, that it's like the fact that they're like pushing these like $130 editions. It's like, dude, I feel like you're turning people off even harder, you know, to like AAA gaming. And that concerns me. But I will. Hey, you can't bite that. You can't bite that. You can't bite that. Hold on. Please be a good boy, boss. He likes, boss sometimes likes to try to bite my modem, and I'm like, dude, that's one thing you can't bite. Like, if you destroy my modem, you're destroying the stream, and you're not gonna have the audience anymore, bro. But my thing with Star Wars Outlaws is
some fancy shooting.
Oh,
you're pretty good.
My bad. I accidentally just played I don't know why I just played Snake right there, but there you go. It's the radiation. The radiation is what, yeah. All right, I can see Boss is entering his chaos mode. Come on. Here you go. You hang out with your snacks, bro. When I think about Star Wars Outlaws, like, my feeling on it is like 90% indifference, because it's like how I feel about Star Wars in general, where I see so much outrage all the time about Star Wars and Star Wars related things, and I just feel like I'm lost at this point, because I just can't keep up with. I don't even know like what exactly people are outraged about in Star Wars anymore. The only thing I remember reading recently that really struck a chord with me is somebody was saying like, dude, this game's probably going to sell well, but just imagine how much better it would sell, even with this ridiculous $130 edition, if this was just a Han Solo Lando game. And that like blew my mind, because it's like, oh my God, dude, like, that would print money. Like, that would just print money. And it made me realize how dumb some of the people making these decisions are in these boardrooms, where I get it. Like, look, I understand there's always this need of like, we need new characters, we need more diversity. And I'm not necessarily opposed to any of that. But I'm just saying, it's like, if your ultimate goal here is to make the fan base happy and to please the market, so you can make the most amount of money, it's like, it's right there, bro. It's right there. Like, the first ever open world Star Wars game, you play as Han Solo. We're going to use Harrison Ford's likeness. We're going to get Troy Baker to voice him. And it's going to be a co-op game, or if not co-op, you know, Lando's going to be like your partner in it. That would be insane. Dude, people would lose their minds over that. That game would sell so much better than Outlaws. And Outlaws is even going to do good itself. And I think that's what's kind of, you're saying that's, what's weird to me about the situation with Outlaws is, isn't that just kind of what they're doing already? Like, this is, boss, come on, bro. If you look at Star Wars Outlaws, it's like, here's a Han Solo-esque character that's not Han Solo, and here's their part. I mean, instead of Chewbacca, you got what? Like a robot, a droid of some kind, I guess. I mean, that to me is the thing that kind of is the stake in the heart of it, where it's like they make it seem like we want to do something original and different. It's like, but you're not. You're doing the same thing. You're just putting different people in the shoes of these characters, essentially. And you're basically rewriting, like, it's a bit of a stretch, but it's like, in some sense, you're just rewriting characters. You know? Like, this character literally looks like Han Solo. And I'm not saying that, again, I'm not saying it's even like a bad thing. It's just like, I just don't understand at that point, why not just make it Han Solo? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get how it's like, you could get more money and make people more happy, but you're like refusing to do that. And I think that's why there's so much consternation. Like, if I had to guess, that has to be a reason why. That's true. That's true too. You're saying you don't understand the rage that would ensue if they screwed up that Han Solo game. Yeah, I mean, I get that too, but I still think people would, because I'm already seeing a ton of rage towards it either way. So it's almost like, oh, wait, did they show that? You're saying Han is literally frozen in carbonite in the trailer? Oh, I must have missed that. Oh, maybe he will be. I think that would make people even angrier. He's in the game, you just can't play as him, and he's not really that important. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not trying to rage against it too much, just because, like, again, my feeling on it is mostly indifference. I have to admit, I would personally be much more interested in this game if it was Han Solo, just because I'm more familiar with Han Solo as a character. I grew up watching movies with Harrison Ford playing Han Solo. Like, to me, that's the Star Wars I know. And I think that this is just kind of why I've gotten away from Star Wars, is because they I don't mind them wanting to just go in different directions, but I'm just realizing that the more that they go in these different directions and they keep trying to bring these new characters, like, I tried to watch the new Star Wars trilogy and I literally couldn't finish it because I'm like, this is fucking ass, dude. And I'm not even trying to, like, jump on that hate bandwagon, because I know it's like a popular thing to hate on the new Star Wars trilogy. I'm saying, like, I wasn't watching videos. I wasn't letting people influence me. I went to the theater to see episode 7 and I thought, okay, this could be good. And then I went and I saw episode 8 and I'm like, what happened? And I saw, I think, the first half of episode 9 and I'm like, I'm out. I'm like, I don't know what they did, but this isn't real to me. Like, I'm just, and I'm not even that passionate of a Star Wars fan, dude. Like, I'm very much a casual Star Wars fan. I'm just like, you know what? The first 6 movies, I'm good. That's it for me. And that's why I just kind of, I don't know. And I feel like they're trying to, like, put all these different stories and these characters in between these movies, and that's fine. And I guess that's what this would technically be, but I don't have a lot of hate, even though it sounds like I do. I really don't have a lot of hate towards Star Wars Outlaws. I can understand why some people are looking at Star Wars Outlaws and they're like, I'm not sure this is the best thing for AAA gaming right now. And we'll see. I find it kind of funny that, like, Ubisoft had to literally come out and be like, there are no towers. You don't climb any towers in Star Wars Outlaws. And I'm like, that's crazy that's got to be a selling point at this point with your games. Like, that's actually crazy. And so maybe the game will turn out to be really good, but we'll see. I'm just so out of the loop with Star Wars anymore, man, that I don't know. I don't know what exactly. I don't know what Disney would need to do exactly to win me back as somebody who's, again, always been a pretty casual Star Wars fan. But I just feel like ever since Disney took over, it's just been a slow descent into just mediocrity. And I feel like Star Wars was never really mediocre. I feel like Star Wars, at least under the time of George Lucas, I feel like there were mistakes that were made and it wasn't perfect, but it had this kind of, I don't know what to call it. Like, it kind of reminds me of how, like, I don't know, I think like Metal Gear, and how Metal Gear can still be pretty decent and good in some cases without Kojima, but it's like you really won't see Metal Gear achieve its true potential unless Kojima is like at the helm, you know, because it's like it's his thing, man. You know, it's his thing, and I feel like that's kind of what has happened with Star Wars, and that's just my general feeling on it. I mean, it seems to me like Disney. I'll be honest. It seems like sometimes Disney just has no idea what they're doing, like with this IP. I wonder. Do you think they'll ever bring George Lucas back? You think George would ever come back? I doubt it. Probably not. You're saying Disney hires those who are out of touch with the everyday person who will go see the film. Yeah, again, I don't follow Star Wars that closely, but I do see so much content on my feed of, I guess, what are like very diehard Star Wars fans. They just seem like they're screaming in agony, dude. Like, and I kind of feel sorry for them, because I'm like, geez, man, that sucks. You know, that sucks to see. Like, it makes me, to be honest, it makes me glad I never really got that into Star Wars. And I guess in a way, maybe Metal Gear fans kind of saw the same thing happen, just not, I don't know, on the same scale, with like once Kojima was fired from Konami and then they actually put out Metal Gear Survive. Those are some dark times, bro. But yeah, just to finish, I went way too long in the super chat. I got to read Josh's here. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Josh. In my last stream, one of the things I emphasized when talking about Star Wars Outlaws is that, you know, the reality is it's going to sell well. And I'm not like, I think people took that as me justifying it, like, hey, everything's great because it's going to sell well, so it doesn't matter. And I didn't mean it that way. I guess I just mean, like, I won't lie. Sometimes I do get in kind of this defeatist mindset, and it's because I just have to like wonder, like, how much longer can this really go on? Where if Disney, like, when is Disney going to get the message that, like, they got to do some things different with their IP here? Because people, like, a lot of people are not happy. And I guess it just makes me feel sometimes like, well, if the game's going to sell well anyway, maybe that's why they don't care. Because they're just like, well, whatever. You know, like, complain all you want. A lot of people still think it looks good. A lot of people are still going to buy it, and we're still going to make money. And so, I don't know. It just starts to feel a bit antagonistic at some point, I guess. Jedi Survivor, yeah, I gotta go back. I wonder if I'll go back and play that. People have told me Jedi Survivor is incredible. I did beat the first one, Fallen Order, so I'll have to maybe finish Jedi Survivor. But that's the thing, dude. Is like, I don't even know. Like, maybe I should just remain disconnected. Anyway, Josh, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. You're saying Final Fantasy VII has a weird issue where most of the big plot does not start until near the end of the second disc. Technically, Remake and Rebirth cover disc 1, where most of the characterization is the focus. Interesting. So, Josh, it makes me wonder if maybe, I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to figure out here is how much this could potentially impact the sales. See Michael Warren is here. What's up, Michael? So, really quick, Michael, how did that giveaway go, dude? Oh, hold on. Boss found a fly, bro. You guys see? Look. Boss is on the hunt. He's on the hunt. Get him, boss. Get that fly. I guess it got away. I don't know. He's going to be looking for it, though. I don't know where these flies come from, dude. I don't know where they're coming from. Michael, you're saying good. He received it. I got confirmation through Twitter. That's sick, dude. That's actually really awesome. I'll see if I can... Yeah, we'll see if we can do more stuff like that. I mean, I guess it would be best if I, like, keep it going through your Twitter, I guess. I mean, you're the one doing it. You know, you're the one providing it, but that's sick, dude. that person's probably shocked, man. That's what's so funny about it. Is that person's probably like, holy shit, I didn't think I would actually win a PS5. And you just did. See, tune into MBG streams, bro. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. But no. We're not biting my monitor, boss. We're not doing that. You're not biting the modem. Come on, bro. Come on, guys. We got to hit that. We got to hit that 75 mark. He's going nuts here. He's torturing me. But Josh, yeah, I do wonder what you're saying here about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and the way they kind of handle the story, how really the most important stuff is kind of all towards the end. All the important characterization and character growth is all kind of towards the end. I do wonder how that could potentially influence sales if it did at all, you know? Because that also makes me wonder, like, player retention. You know, like how many people actually beat the game, how many people got to like the third act of the game. Questions that I don't necessarily know we'll have the answers to, but in general, I hope that if things are not going too well for Square right now, that maybe there's just some lessons they can learn. I don't know. Again, I don't know exactly what they would be. Josh, you'd probably be better suited in actually figuring that out than I would at this point in time. But my question is this. Also, I have another question. If Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, there ain't no way. If it really, sorry, boss is so distracting right now. Can you? No, I need you. Come on, boss, please. If Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is struggling sales wise, I really do wonder how that could potentially impact future PlayStation exclusivity for future Final Fantasy games, like Part 3. Josh, you're saying it definitely plays a factor, but I always said that this was a long-term investment. B. Flesher says, dude, how is Square still fine after Forspoken and Foam Stars? Good question. And we got Michael Cintron coming in out of nowhere. Michael Cintron dropping a 10 bomb on you guys. Michael says, we need to do it. Wow, that is wild, man. Michael Cintron brought us to 66 members. Dude, this number will not go away. I cannot stop seeing the number 66 multiple times every single day. I'm never looking for it, dude. I'm never looking for it. And Michael Cintron does it. He drops 10 more memberships for you guys. He gets us to 66 members.
Holy shit.
And Boss is definitely shedding some more here now that it's getting warmer out. So, guys, we are less than 10 memberships away from hitting a third goal today. So, if we hit 75 members, I will give Boss some more treats. And while he eats those treats, I'll give him a good brushing. Brush his fur since he's shedding so much. So, Michael, really appreciate that, dude. Thank you for continuing to show such incredible support to the community as well as the channel. Let me add that to the counter here. Execute Order 66. Yeah, I mean, I was looking up what the number 66 means, and it's not a bad thing. The number 66... apparently what it really means is my understanding is to focus less on worldly things and focus more on the more important things in life. Focus on your inner self, focus on your family, focus on your experiences, and don't worry so much about worldly material type stuff, including stuff like money and whatnot. I found that very interesting because I'm like, huh. I mean, you know what though? I was looking at, recently what's going on with inflation still, and I'm like, oh, geez, is this why I'm seeing it? But you guys are seeing it too, so maybe it's a good sign for you guys as well. You never know. Also, everybody thinks the number 666 is like a bad omen. Not 2 6s, but 3. Everybody thinks 666 is like a really bad omen and it means bad things. Actually, if you look it up in like numerology, it's not bad. It can be a warning of some kind, but it's usually not bad. It's actually usually pretty positive. But in most cases, when you see 666, it does mean that it's a sign that you should be thinking about certain things you should be changing or correcting. But it usually means change is coming of some kind. Yeah, if you guys ever start seeing like repeating numbers like frequently, look into it. Look into numerology because it's super fascinating. Hopefully it's not. I mean, you guys are really leading into the direction of the satanic stuff. I would hope not. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing, Shelly. I don't know what we're doing. Let me see. Let's get back on track here. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next topic. Well, actually, let me just... Oh, wow, I didn't know that, Fred. Fred, you know what's funny about you, man? I feel like you have like you're like that person that's like an encyclopedia a little bit, where you just have this random knowledge about stuff that I just like wouldn't expect. I feel like you're always just coming in, like dropping like random facts of knowledge. I'm just like, wow, okay, cool. I'm always learning different stuff from Fred. But let me clean up. Let me wrap up, I should say, this topic. It was a little bit all over the place, but let's get back. Oh, you studied theology. Okay. Well, that explains a lot. It's the mark of the beast in biblical terms. Man, if I start... I don't know, man. I still don't know if I believe in that so intensely. Mark of the beast. All right. Let's get back to Stellar Blade, and let me wrap up. Let me give my conclusive thoughts on Stellar Blade and the hype being real. I think Stellar Blade is going to... I think it's going to shock people when we get sales data. I feel pretty confident in this. I don't know that Stellar Blade is going to be as shocking as like what we saw with Helldivers 2. I don't think it can reach that level. I don't think that's realistic. But I do think we're going to see like another story pop up where a couple of weeks after, maybe even a week, I would say maybe like a week after the launch of Stellar Blade, we're going to see the development team come out and announce, we've sold, I don't know, like over 3 million copies or something like that, or maybe even close to 4 million, or just some big number like that. That's going to make it maybe 5 million in a week. I don't know. That would be nuts. Anywhere between 2 and 3 million sounds much more realistic to me. I will tell you right now, if they came out and they sold 5 million in a week, Sony would be like, we need to buy them now. That would be absolutely wild. So I'm thinking anywhere between 2 and 3 million in the first week, and they will announce this, but I think it'll have a kind of... I could see it being a game that, and then like, I don't know, man, maybe even like 2 weeks later, like, hey, we've sold over 5 million. And it's very like basically just shouting the success from the rooftops, and people become more and more like hyper aware of like, this game is doing incredibly well. Like it's really doing well. And I think that's what's about to happen with Stellar Blade. And I don't think there's anything that can stop it, because I think it has everything going for it. Stellar Blade, another thing I want to mention is the review scores. The review embargo for Stellar Blade lifts on the 24th, so I think that's 2 days before it launches, which is pretty good. That to me shows that there is certainly some confidence there. I have a feeling that anybody who gives this game a really negative review score, people are going to be vigilant very, very vigilant as to why did you give it a low score. And this is why I think the demo is also so important, because people have played this game for themselves. People have played it. Yeah, Jim Sterling will give it a 0 out of 10. Yep. And it'll count on Metacritic as well, because somehow that person's reviews still count on Metacritic. Am I buying Stellar Blade? Yes, I am. I'm hoping to get a physical copy of Stellar Blade. You know what the problem I'm running into though is I've still been playing Rise of the Ronin like every day, and I need to throw this in here really quick. IGN, it's too sexy, 5 out of 10. Is anybody here still playing Rise of the Ronin? Because for anybody playing Rise of the Ronin, can I just acknowledge, like, holy shit, this game is unbelievably massive. Like, I just can't believe how much, like, I'm almost wondering if it's going to veer towards, like, maybe it's a little too bloated. I'm not sure, dude, because, like, I'm nearly 60 hours in, and I don't know how close I am to the end of this, like, the actual main story, but there's just so many characters, so many side missions. It's not bad either. I'm just shocked. Like, I just did not expect this game to be this massive. It's very good. And I have another question. Has anybody platinumed? I think I'm like level 36. Has anybody platinumed Rise of the Ronin? The 1222 says I got 81 hours in and gave up and just did the story. I'm not surprised to hear that. There's so much, dude. Does it feel like bloat? I mean, it may be a little bit, like, just maybe a tad. There's certainly a tad bit of bloat, but it's hard to truly feel like it's bloat because they constantly introduce new characters, and you continually have to decide if you want to continue your relationship with these characters and build the relationship. My thing is, I feel like I'm starting to get overwhelmed with how many characters they have. Like, you have a whole list of characters that you can keep track of and decide, like, who's, how important they are to you and whether or not want to establish relationships or more romantic relationships. And it's a whole thing. I'm like, geez, it's a lot to keep track of, man. It's a lot of people here. Yeah, I guess it is very similar to Assassin's Creed in that way. So far, I haven't seen anybody say that they platinumed this game so far. Yeah, I would like to platinum it, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be done this game by the time Stellar Blade comes out. It's kind of addicting, I will say. Level 53. Is that the highest level you can get to? Level 53. Yeah, I think I'm like level 36 or 37 right now. So I'm getting there. Joshua, you have 9 trophies to go. That's good stuff, dude. You can go higher. Okay. Oh, the level cap is level 66. It's 55. All right. Not 66, 55. There's a trophy for 55. Okay. Michael, you're saying you're still trying to platinum, what is that, Monster Hunter World? 820 hours deep? Dude, that's what? 820 hours deep. Good stuff, man. I remember playing Monster Hunter World. It took me like 35 hours to feel like I knew what the hell I was doing in that game. All right, got a little bit distracted there, but yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is by the time Stellar Blade comes out, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be finished up with Rise of the Ronin, and I will try to see if I can balance these two games out. But I do think Stellar Blade's going to do incredibly well. And I actually do believe there are some people who are going to buy like 2 copies just to send a message. And there's a lot of goodwill going in the direction of Stellar Blade, and I think Sony as well as Shift Up could have a major hit on their hands. And the last thing I'll say before I move on is I can't wait to see how Sony's relationship with the studio grows potentially. If it really is as big of a success as we think it is. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to end the Stellar Blade topic by, hold on. Let me bring this up here. This is like a short video. I want to react to this, and then we'll move on to the next topic. But you guys have been asking me to react to this, so give me a second just to set it up. Make sure.
The inspiration for creating this game
This bar used to be full of people.
We tried many things we thought were impossible before.
I think this game will surprise you.
Exciting.
Oh, so this is going to be like a multiple
07531.
multi-episode series.
Stellar Blade tells the story of a female warrior fighting against unidentified life forms.
The desolate Earth is dominated by enemies called Naytiba.
The Naytiba suddenly appeared on Earth, attacked humans, and drove them out to space.
As you play the game further, you may find that this is a story about humanity.
It's hard to talk in more detail. If I tell more, it would be a spoiler.
I ain't saying shit, yo.
Eve is one of the survivors of the airborne squad, along with her crucial ally, Taki.
Take my hand.
The third
Taki
character
seems like a
is
pretty cool
Lily, a
character.
technician who worked as an engineering support in the airborne squad. She arrived on Earth before our protagonist.
Lily Artemis II. But you can just call me Lily.
Next is Adam, a survivor on Earth who works to rescue her from the crisis.
Man, is this just me or they make Adam look a little too average,
Adam
huh?
has survived on a devastated Earth by avoiding enemies.
Something serious seems to have happened.
I'm just kidding, of course.
These characters form a party and embark on various adventures, which is the main focus of the game.
It's probably still that hasn't fully sunk in yet, you know? That they're about to make so much money off of PlayStation players. Fred, you're saying, has Square Enix said anything about FF14? I think you meant to say 16, FF16 sales. Oh, no, you're saying 14 on Xbox yet. I haven't heard anything. I actually forgot that that was a thing. saying yes because PlayStation fans buy games. Dude, look, I'm telling you, I think one of the biggest mistakes Microsoft ever made, and you could argue this is where Jim Ryan proved, again, whether you liked Jim Ryan as the PlayStation CEO or not, he did not blink, bro. Like, I remember in 2021, 2022, and 2023, but mainly in, I think, 2021 and 2022, there was so much back and forth about, like Sony's being greedy and Microsoft's giving the best deal and the best value in gaming, and you can't compete against Game Pass. And I get that, but I've always like kind of argued that I don't know that Microsoft is making the wisest decision with the way they're pushing so aggressively with Game Pass and honing in on like the you don't have to buy games mantra, because once you condition your player base to not have to buy games, they're not going to buy games anymore. Like, you're going to end up conditioning your player base to just say, I'll just wait till it's on Game Pass. And guess what? If it never comes to Game Pass, then that game never gets played, certainly never gets purchased. And I really think that was the critical mistake that I think Microsoft made, was I think they leaned into it too hard. And I think that is why now, I mean, again, I don't know what Microsoft's internal expectations are for Sea of Thieves or any of their other games, but I have to imagine Microsoft is feeling very pleased about what they're seeing with Sea of Thieves on PlayStation. And they're probably thinking like, damn, is this what we can do with our games with an audience and a customer base that has not been conditioned to expect not free games, but games day one in their subscription, right? But instead, an audience and a customer base that has been conditioned to buy games. That's why I do feel very confident that other games are going to come after Sea of Thieves, because it's just like, I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, Sony has what Microsoft wants. Nintendo has what Microsoft wants, and that is a large install base of gamers that buy video games at full price. It's crazy. I still can't like fully comprehend that this is how things have turned out, but here we are, man. Here we are. And so I really can't wait to see the summer showcases for both Sony and Microsoft, because it sounds like we were hearing a little bit about what might be at Microsoft showcase, and it really sounds like there could be some like, this could be a big year where these two behemoths really kind of clash aggressively. Did I watch the Fallout series? No, I'm not planning on watching it. Yeah. Oh, dude. So I want to bring this up real quick. This is actually IP gaming. I got to ask you this because you brought this topic up. You listed it as one of the topics we could discuss. And since we're talking about upcoming showcases, apparently Call of Duty is going to be at the Xbox showcase, which is not surprising at this point, since, I mean, you just bought them. Yeah, show it off. But you had said that you'd mentioned a topic, which is the next Call of Duty being cross gen. And I couldn't find anything about it being cross gen. Like, I didn't see anything, but then I started to think like, holy shit, what if it is? What if it is, dude? I mean, I would be scared. I've seen a couple people talking about it, like speculating that it might end up actually being cross-gen. And dude, if the next Call of Duty is cross-gen, I'm gonna be scared, like genuinely frightened at that point at like what is happening to this industry, dude, in the console space. That Call of Duty is still cross-gen, bro. Don't put that energy out there. I'm not trying, man. That would be, you heard it from an insider. Okay. IP gaming with this insider. We got Jake Skew 28 Jake Skew 28 coming in, dropping a membership gift. He brings us to 67. Jake, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that support, bro. So, guys, we are still, again, less than 10 away. What are we, 8 now? Oh, hold on, let me add this. We gonna do it? Are we gonna get to 75 today? I think we can do it. We get to 75, like I said, I get to brush boss. Please let me brush boss. I'm getting tired of his hair falling everywhere. Zubitech confirmed it. You know what? It's like I believe it. Unfortunately, I do believe it. I don't know why. I do believe that somehow, some way, this next Call of Duty is actually going to be cross-gen. I don't want to believe it, though. Why would it be cross-gen, though, man? Yeah, all right, let me... You know what? Listen. If... Jake, you're saying you sent me an email? I'll have to check on that in a little while. Listen, man, if the next Call of Duty is cross-gen, then the only thing I can assume at that point is that it's because they just couldn't figure out a way to actually evolve the game that would justify making it next-gen only. That would be it. Where it's like, the only way it could be cross-gen is if they just are not, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just not doing anything different. Or they haven't innovated in any way. Saying console sales aren't up to the high mark of 80 million or 90 million units sold. Even then, though, I feel like, I know Call of Duty always kind of hangs on to cross-gen longer than most games, but I feel like this would be a new record, right? Right? That would, I will tell you this, if this Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War, I think that's what it's going to be called, if it is actually cross-gen, it's definitely going to disappoint me a little bit, because I would have thought, like, damn, this is the longest developed Call of Duty in history. If there was ever a time to, like, really push the, you know, move the needle, right? Like, push the bar, raise it higher. This is the time. And if they go cross-gen, I think that pretty much confirms that, yeah, we're not doing that. Even though we had 4 years to make this game, we're still not doing that. And I did see, by the way, I want to say I did see some people saying that, like, they were confused about the whole Treyarch having 4 years to develop Call of Duty, because they're like, well, didn't Treyarch help develop the previous Call of Duties in, like, the last 3 years? They did, but it wasn't the entirety of Treyarch. It was like a portion of Treyarch, like a smaller portion, kind of, at least I assume, kind of helping out with the development process of like zombies and stuff. That's my understanding. Hello, boss. Have you come to talk to us about Call of Duty? Yeah, I'm hoping it's not cross-gen. I'm prepared for it to be cross-gen, but I'm hoping it's not, because I will be a little bit disappointed. I won't lie. I won't lie. I would be like, damn. 4 years into the gen, and we're still getting PS4 Call of Duties. Because you know another problem with this. You know what I'm thinking about it. That's gonna hurt the console, dude. That, like, the amount of people that would be willing to say, I'm now going to upgrade from my PS4 to the PS5 if it wasn't cross-gen, probably millions of people. I bet you there are millions of Call of Duty players on PS4 that if they were told this year, you got to buy a PS5 to play the new Call of Duty or an Xbox Series X, they would do it. And that sucks, because, like, the longer Call of Duty stays cross-gen, the less incentive people are going to have to upgrade their consoles, and they won't. Like, if Call of Duty is the main game they play and care about, they're not going to upgrade. Why would they? Unless it's like the PS4 version is so shitty, god awful that it's like, you know, it's just gonna like a broken piece of shit. Maybe then, but boss, bro, I can't see the chat, man. I can't see the chat. There we go. Get this out of there. PS4 still hasn't been pushed to its limits? Oh, don't tell me that. No way. Yeah, Black Ops 3, the PS3 360 versions. Everything comes to an end, and so will Call of Duty. You're thinking Microsoft probably told them to do it? I doubt that. I mean, there's a chance, but I feel like that's unlikely just because, like, if the game, again, the game's been in development for 4 years. If it had to go next gen only, it would have done so, I think, a few years ago. Certainly. We have Miguel here with a milestone chat saying, MBG, hope you're better. You're saying there's something up with YouTube. You can't gift or do super chats or memberships, even using a VPN to connect. I can get a gifted membership, though. Well, I appreciate you letting me know that, Miguel. Yeah, so something I'm going to be looking into hopefully this week, because you're far from the only person to let me know about this. There have been multiple people telling me they would like to support the channel in some way, whether that's through super chats or memberships or just some kind of donation. I'm going to look into getting direct donations through Streamlabs set up. So that way, for those of you who can't do it directly through YouTube, you can do it through Streamlabs. And from what I understand, I will be able to set it up to where you can leave a message. So it'll be just like a super chat and I can read it. So hang tight. I'm going to look into that this week and see if I can get that up and running. Because obviously it helps me and the channel out and the community, but I could tell that there are some of you who really do want to support, but YouTube literally just won't let you. Yeah, it's Phil Spencer, bro. He's effing with my stream. Wild Wolf, you're saying inflation is the main problem. Yeah, you know what, man? I was looking into that, and dude, I don't know like what is going to happen, but yeah, the economy is just not doing good, man. It's sad. It makes me depressed because it's like I feel like it doesn't have to be this bad. And it is. Perfect Image, you're saying the price of a PS5 is a lot to a person living like 1800. Yeah, dude, I get that. I totally get that. Perfect Image. This is probably, you know what? Actually, maybe this is exactly why we're going to continue to see some cross-gen games, because it's like, you know, these publishers, these video game publishers, they're well aware of what's happening with the economy. They're well aware of how much the cost of living has risen and even just the past 18 months alone. It's like insane. It's insane, dude. And the prices of everything have gone up substantially. And so I do wonder if they're just like, look, we don't want to take the risk. You know, I'm under the assumption that if the next Call of Duty was next gen only or current gen only, it would convince millions of people to upgrade. But maybe not. Maybe most of those people would say, I can't afford that right now. I'm just going to keep playing Modern Warfare 3 or 2 on my PS4 until I can upgrade. And maybe, you know, maybe that's, again, a risk that some of these companies just aren't willing to take. It sucks. Prince G, you're saying I make 100K and still call myself poor, sadly, because wages won't grow. Only the rich getting richer. Yeah, I keep coming across these like different charts and stuff, and all across social media of like pointing out just how much more expensive it is to just like maintain. I think I read something that's like $12,000 more a year on average, like just to kind of maintain where we like what you were doing in like 2022 or something like that. It's pretty bad. Bidenomics, bro. Bidenomics. Saying COD is treated like Fortnite or Apex, all games people play on PS4 and Xbox One. Yeah, that's true as well. That's true as well, B Flesher. Maybe the way we view COD is just this generation is different, or the way that the publishers view it this generation. I say publishers, I guess it would be Microsoft at this point. Fred, you're saying, MBG, if I didn't work in a tier 1 supplier, it would definitely be harder to survive. Well, dude, that's that's why I always thank you guys so much for those of you who support, you know, the channel here, because trust me, I'm not living some kind of luxurious lifestyle. I wish I was. But I'm just thankful to be able to meet my needs and or have my needs met, I should say, and buy video games to be able to play them, you know. I'm very grateful for that. But even still, like, I definitely still feel it, you know. I notice things are getting a little bit more like, all right, got to save here, save there, be more aware of. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with being aware of your total spendage, right? Like, that's something you should always be aware of, is try to be, you know, in control of everything. But once things start getting like tighter, you know, you can definitely feel it. Wait, I thought you had a mansion in a Lambo, MBG. Man, I wouldn't even. I've always thought the idea of living in a mansion was strange. Like, I legitimately wouldn't know what to do with a home that big. Like, what do I even do? I have like 7 rooms. What am I gonna do in the like? I don't know where to go. I would like a bigger home for sure, but I don't know about a mansion. Damn, Fred, you're saying your mortgage went up from $1,300 to $1,500 because of home insurance. That sucks, dude. That's rough. Just more cleaning. Yeah, good. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Gaming Survivor says, sign that Xbox influencer deal, bro. Jenna Hayes says, MBG, make sure you vote for the right person come November. Oh, I know who I'm voting for, bro. I know who I'm voting for. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not diving into that fucking conversation, but no comment. Other than I know who I'm voting for. I'm voting for Steven Seagal for president. Totoki, yeah, I'm voting for Hiroki Totoki for president. Saying, yeah, it's best to avoid this conversation, MBG. Well, here's what I will say. I often feel that sometimes in life, that I feel like that sentence didn't make sense. I often feel sometimes. I feel that sometimes in life, when you're given certain choices, that the choice is simply pick, you know, it's like the lesser, like pick your poison. Pick your poison. And I feel like, unfortunately, with the state of the world and even the United States and just so much turmoil, it's like, I'm not so sure that there's a perfect person or leader at a time like this. And I don't think I expect perfection. Actually, I could say for certain I don't expect perfection. So for me, it just simply comes down to, trying to be as reasonable about it as I can and just thinking, okay, pick your poison. Yeah, shit's getting crazy out there, man. Shit is getting crazy out there. It might be too late. Dude, we'll see. There's never been a perfect leader, MBG. That's true. That's true. I think it's safe to say there are better leaders than others for sure. But I think that's the problem a lot of times with like campaigning and stuff is I think too many people do end up kind of falling into the trap of believing that like they kind of believe I don't know, like they're sold on the dream of like this is the perfect leader. Like this is the perfect person to do this. And it's like, well, no, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be a bumpy road for sure. But that's why I think it's just a matter of just understanding that humans are not perfect. Everybody has their own flaws. But I do think that there are better candidates than others. Certainly. Put Boss on the ballot. I vote for Boss. Planet Schlorpian with a $2 super chat saying 30th anniversary of PlayStation this year equals massive show. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out myself, Planet Schlorpian. I've talked about this a little bit where like I want to say that there's a higher chance Sony will do a bigger celebration of some kind or just a better show to mark the 30th, the occasion. It's 30th anniversary, but I'm really still not entirely sure. I feel like there's it's like a 50-50 chance type thing. Because again, the 30th anniversary is not actually occurring until December of this year. And so I don't think Sony's going to have a show of any kind in December. Maybe they could, what they could do? Sony could partner with Jeff Keighley for the Game Awards and do something special since that'll be the month of the 30th anniversary. They could do something like that. I'd be all for that. New limited edition console, I'd be all for that as well. That would be awesome. I would buy that for sure. Although I don't know that they would do a full-blown console as much as it would be like plates. You know what I mean? If Sony wants to go all in, they could do like a limited edition PS1 themed PS5 Slim and PS5 Pro. Fred, you're saying, MBG, there's a town in my state that has a dog as a mayor, and apparently the issues with spending, they have disappeared. I feel like you're being serious, and that's awesome. That's so funny. Brett, you're saying y'all don't even have it as bad as us here in Canada. Trudeau is the worst leader we've had since his father, who also put us massively into debt. I wouldn't know, man. I've never been to Canada. I don't have a problem with Canada. I've just never been there. Jim Ryan for president. Oh, maybe that's what Jim Ryan was teasing. Jim Ryan said he had other things in the works once he retires. Maybe that's what he has in the works. He's going to run for president. Well, it's always going to be turmoil. It's always going to be issues. Something I heard, I think it was last year, is just focus on your little corner of the world and focus on doing good in that corner. And the ripple effect, the effects of it can and will be felt beyond your own little corner. And that really resonated with me because I think that's a great way of viewing it, where you do good where you are, you try to do good where you are with what's in front of you, with what you can control, and it will have an outward effect. You don't know how big that impact is going to be, but that's usually how these things happen. You end up, the things you do end up affecting people in ways that you would have never known. We got Lore Cannon here saying, I'm thinking of buying PSVR 2. Is it worth it? It's tough, man. I got to be honest at this point, Lore Cannon. Like, I have enjoyed PSVR 2, but unfortunately, I have also I've fallen into that category of people who've kind of, I don't want to say I'm not going to use it anymore, but I haven't in a while, and I haven't felt like the need. And right now, there's really not that great of a roadmap for PSVR 2. So, I mean, it's tough because, like, on one hand, it is a great machine and it's awesome at what it does, and there are definitely some good experiences on it. But on the other hand, it is very expensive. You're talking about money, and so it's like if you're gonna buy it, I would say just make sure you do as much research as you can into like all the different games, you know, and I mean it's hard to watch gameplay because you can't really experience it firsthand, but just really think about it because I don't know what the future of VR2 looks like. I wish I did, but I don't. And I would say at the very least wait for the PlayStation showcase to happen, because if we don't see PlayStation VR 2 show up at the showcase, then I would say do not buy it at that point. Because, I mean, I can't imagine that anybody would walk away from a PlayStation showcase where we don't see PSVR 2 in any capacity. I can't imagine people wouldn't take that as a clear message of, so I guess you guys are just done with this. Because that's how I would take it. So I would say wait until the next PlayStation showcase, because if Sony does have any significant plans with PSVR 2, that will be where they will showcase it. They'll let you know. And then take it from there. Sorry, I'm just checking to see. Okay. Huh. Already done? You hear that there are 2 new first-party PSVR 2 games in development? Well, I would assume Team Asobi's working on something first party, right? But I don't know what the I guess maybe Fire Sprite could be working on something. Sorry, I'm just sorry for the dead air. I'm just reading the chat right now. I just saw Hanzo saying Slitterhead at the showcase. Dude, I forgot about that game. Totally forgot about that game. Yeah, I saw that. Apparently, Foam Stars lost like 90% of its players. I'm not surprised, dude. I think Foam Stars was destined to flop no matter what. I don't think anybody asked for that game. To be honest, it reeks of desperation. And I think people are getting more and more annoyed with stuff like that, where it's like a game that is just so desperate, like we're cool, we're gonna be the next big thing, right? It's like people just shake their head. Michael, you're saying you haven't touched your VR or Portal. Am I going to do my Big Boss cosplay again? Well, I don't think I would do Big Boss again. I don't know if I plan on cosplaying again. We'll have to see. It was fun the first week, but quickly died out. Well, yeah, I mean, dude, Foam Stars, there just wasn't any hype for that game, dude. Like, at all. At all. And it reminded me a lot of, like, Destruction All-Stars, where it was just like, there must be some kind of curse where if your game ends with stars, like, it's just, and you're trying to be a live service, it's like, nope, you're done. But yeah, you know, it's interesting to look back that Foam Stars and Helldivers 2 launched on like the same day or something, or like 2 days apart. And I knew Helldivers 2 was going to be bigger, but I had no idea. Like, my God, dude. I mean, that game just got brutally decimated and obliterated. Didn't stand a chance against Helldivers 2. All right, so I have expended all of my topics, guys. And I mean, man, I got to be honest, I'm quite shocked that I was able to talk to you guys for this long, considering how few topics there actually were. So not bad, not bad. I have no idea what the next week is going to be like for gaming news. I'm hoping it's better. Bonus topics, I'll just, yeah, I don't know. Call of Duty was really the only one that I could really justify. I feel like the other, I don't know, there was a topic about Dead Space, but I don't know. I think for now, this is where I'll leave it. And so here's what we're going to do. Will they show Wolverine at the next showcase? I think they will. Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. We are... Let's see. Sorry, I'm got my screen all over the place. All right, so we are 8 members away from hitting a third goal. We're sitting at 67, which is awesome. So thank you guys so much for that. What I do owe you is some reps. We're gonna do a couple reps. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm not feeling well. But what I will say is, as we're doing these reps, it's up to you guys. If you get us to the 75 spot, if we get there, I'll give this guy here. He's sleeping very... I don't know. See if I can... He's sleeping very... Oh, I woke him up. I knew I was going to do that. Yeah, while I'm doing these reps, if we get up to the 75 mark, I'll give Boss some bonus snacks and we'll give him a brushing. But yeah, I'm totally out of topics. And so let's see here. I apologize if my reps are very weak. I'm still recovering here. What should we play though? I gotta find a new track. I gotta find a new track to play. I don't know if I've looked. I haven't looked for any new tracks recently, but I still have. I know for a fact there are some tracks I haven't played yet. Hey, come here. I see we got Michael Wernith coming in. Michael Wernith's dropping some membership gifts. He drops 2 on us, and I see what you did there, Michael. I see he's setting it up for you guys. Michael drops 2 membership gifts, brings us temporarily to 69 members. But he drops a third one. Michael drops a third one and brings us to 70. So, again, Michael has set it up for you guys. Somebody drops a 5 bomb. We hit 75. Let me see if I can get some music playing here. Hold on. Really appreciate that, Michael. What track is playing right now? Okay, something really intense. Fred Vance does it. Fred brings it home, man. Fred ADHD Vance drops a 5-bomb, brings us exactly to 75. You guys did it. You did it. Sorry if I'm screaming into the mic. I just cannot tell how loud this music is. And then we got Cobb Sanity. Cobb Sanity tried to go for it. You're saying this drum pattern sounds off? It does sound a little bit off, yeah. Cobb Sanity drops a membership gift and brings us to 76, bro. I feel like this almost sounds like an Avenged Sevenfold. Let's see if I can get another track playing though. Thank you guys so much for that. You guys absolutely kill it every time, dude. All right, let me see. This one's called Gut Check. Okay, I played that one before. Okay, I'm gonna have to find new tracks. Let's see, this one's called Run. Oh, I think that was the one I just played. I don't know. Are you guys in the mood for something like a little bit more upbeat or heavy? This is like epic boss music. Members Lounge. We're going to do a Members Lounge on the next stream. Sundays, I don't do Members Lounges. I save them for the weekdays. Sounds like something out of Dragon Ball. I'm trying to... I played this one too. I'm really going to have to look for more tracks because I think I've used all of these so far. This one's pretty sick though. Use that one. Use that. Yeah, I think I've used all of them by this point. Wait, have I used this one? All right, I'll give Boss his snacks. I have. Apparently, Leia wants to come in. Oh, I don't think I played this one. Hold on. Have we played this one? Can you guys even hear me? Oh, you know what? Hold on. Hold on, guys. I gotta ask you. Shit, I feel really bad. I've been playing these tracks, and I think they've been double looping. Have they been double looping the whole time? Because if they were, then man, they all sounded like shit to you guys. I apologize for that. I had it playing through two different sources. So, okay, I greatly apologize. My God, I'm shocked you guys sat through that. That probably sounded like complete ass. My bad. Should be fixed now. All right. We're gonna epically feed boss his snacks and then brush his hair. I know he wants to get brushed. Thanks for tuning into the stream, guys, where we just groom boss and feed him snacks while listening to some epic music in the background. Broccoli Rob says, all right, I'm gonna head out. Appreciate you hanging out, Broccoli Rob. Oh my God, you guys see that? Look at that. Look at how much he's shedding. I can't believe it, dude. You did that. All right. All right, now we'll do some reps. Again, forgive me if they're not that great. Still feeling pretty weak. I gotta let Leia in, too. What is this? I don't... What is that? Well, that's a... I don't know what that was. I'm sorry you guys had to hear that. That was like a complete 180. Metal music while brushing the cat. That's why you guys are here, bro. I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard to find a new track. Like something that I haven't used before. I know there has to be one. Maybe not. I'm going back a little bit further now. I'm going back a little bit further. Let's see. All right, I have used this before, but it's been a little while. Damn, bro. Those forced negatives. See, Corey made it in. Corey made it in at the last minute, bro. He's like, I'm here for the reps. I knew MBG was doing the reps. Yeah, Corey, I guess if you missed the first 3 hours of the stream, we covered all the topics, but these guys came through big today, dropped 76 membership gifts. We got double boss snacks. We got some boss grooming. And now I'm trying, dude, I'm trying my best to do some reps. I'm definitely not 100%, but I noticed my right bicep, the outer bicep, it's not as built up as my left outer bicep. Raheem Scott, you're saying MBG inspired me to hit the gym. I'm happy, man. I'm glad. Anybody who feels inspired to try to do a little bit of exercising or anything, that makes me feel good. You know, that's kind of the mission here. Try to take care of yourself, try to exercise, do what you can. Doesn't have to just be lifting weights. This track is really good, though. Like, very inspirational. I think Boss is like... He's 6 years old? Am I lefty? No, I'm not. I mean, I use my left hand for some things, but my right hand is my dominant hand for sure. That's what I don't... Yeah, that's what I don't understand. I don't understand, like, how... Because, like, my overall bicep on my right arm is bigger, I think. Well, you can't really... It's, like, overall bigger. But specifically the outer portion of it. Mrs. MBG just texted me and told me that Boss is going to be 7 next month. So I got his age right, but I didn't realize his birthday was... So it's going to be Boss's birthday next month. Wow. Yo, Boss's birthday is going to be the same time as the PlayStation Showcase. And Leia's going to be 8 in June. Damn. That timing, though. That timing. Blood pumps first to the left part of the body. The muscles on the left side get more oxygen and nutrients. That's so crazy. I feel like that's true, too. I should cosplay as Boss. Are we pro bungification now? We'll see, Gaming Survivor. We'll see. Locust Focus says, why do Xbots always change their perspective view when they get locked at 30 FPS? Corey, you want the MGS theme? Yo, Hellbound's like, bro, Boss birthday stream with gaming news? All right, let's get that. Let's get that MGS. Let me get that MGS theme for you, Corey. Give me a second to find it again. Wait. I thought I had... Hold on. I think I have a couple of other... Do I have other ones? Guess not. Hold on. I gotta... I'm gonna mute this for a second, okay? Just give me a second. I'm looking for something here. Let's try some different Metal Gear themes, shall we? What is this one? Wait. Here we go. Damn, that's classic, bro. Holy shit. Bro, that scared the living shit out of me, man. Oh my god, I was not prepared for that. I'm just experimenting with some different Metal Gear tracks. Was a little too slow. This one makes me feel like I should be like fucking crawling around and shit. It's pretty, oh god man, the MGS3 title screen. Why does it go this hard though, man? It is so good. Perfect. Let's see. The MGS4 soundtrack. Have you guys ever heard this rendition before? Just need to get the cardboard box emoji. Oh yeah, that's true. I thought, oh wow, yeah, how do I not have a cardboard box emoji? I feel like I don't know if I've ever heard this rendition. Damn, dude. Okay, let's see. Damn, dude, that was awesome. That was the first time I heard that one. I just looked up the MGS team. I think they're do crossbodies. I'm struggling, man. I could tell my body's not like 100%. Like the lactic acid buildup is so quick and immediate. I got to start trying to burn some fat though soon. A little bit. Eating too much shit. That was good though. I enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's for I tried to put in some extra reps. What's the song? That was the main Metal Gear Solid theme. But that was like a metal rendition. I didn't actually catch the name of the YouTuber that did it. I need my own energy drink. In the future, bro, we'll have some MBG supplements. I don't know, actually, if that can be a thing or not, but that'd be great. Oh, wow. Hold on. All right. We're good now. But yeah, I wanted to be sure to try my best to get a couple of extra sets in there, reps for you guys, because there definitely wasn't any real reason for you guys to show up today in such a big way, but you did anyway. You know, not a whole lot going on. Quiet news week, almost no news. And you guys still show up. You still show incredible support. And it means a lot to me. It does. MBG supplement line mixed with PlayStation pasta. Did I notice that Girl Scout cookies were smaller this year? No, I don't eat Girl Scout cookies. I haven't had Girl Scout cookies in a long time. I wouldn't be surprised, though. Everything. Smaller portions now. You think I should get an interview with David Hayter? That would be pretty cool. Apparently, David Hayter got to play the first section of MGS3 Remake, and he says it was awesome. So I'm like, yo, come on, David, you can't be teasing us like that. And Corey comes in, and he's keeping the membership train going even after all this. Even after all this, Corey's still coming in, dropping 5 more gifts for you guys. He brings us to 81. It's still going. You guys still won't stop with the membership gifts. Corey, thank you so much, dude. Let me see. Well, I forgot to give that to you guys earlier.
But that was some fancy shit.
There you go, Corey.
You're pretty good.
Corey, is Metal Gear Solid your favorite video game series, like, of all time? Because I noticed, like, you do have Kratos as your picture, but you seem to be really, really into Metal Gear. And Michael Wernick coming in. Look at you guys. Still keeping this membership train going. Michael Wernick comes in and drops 5 more gifts for you guys as well. You guys just continue to show this community such love. Just a reminder to anybody who gets gifted a membership, we do members lounges all throughout the week. They're exclusive to channel members only. The last members lounge is actually age restricted because we reacted to some insane fails, if we'll call them that, where some damage was done to some people. So I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the last members lounge was actually age restricted. Boss, no way. Are you okay? Are you okay? Dude, too many snacks for Boss, man. I think I gave Boss too many snacks because he just tried jumping up to the desk here, and he just totally failed. But we're now sitting at 86 members, by the way. I think Boss ate too much. Or I overfed him snacks. His belly's too full. He tried to jump up, dude. He tried to jump up to the desk and failed. He's embarrassed now. It's okay, Boss. It happens to the best of us. It's getting heavy, dude. I mean, if there's something I've learned about Boss is he will eat snacks no matter what. You know, I could feed him his regular food, give him wet food, dry food. But as soon as he hears those snacks, he's like, oh yeah, I'll make room. I'll make room. And he makes room. All right. But yeah, somebody asked me earlier if we're going to be doing so we don't do members lounges on Sundays anymore. I try to keep Sundays pretty clean, if that makes sense. Like, I just try to make sure it's just because Sundays is when I used to do Press X podcast, and I know a lot of people. I know that a lot of people like miss Press X podcast, and I was like the only time they could tune into the stream. So I try to just make sure like Sundays, it's just a regular stream. But we'll be doing more members lounges later this week. I'm really hoping. Yeah, Hanzo remembers. I'm really hoping that there's more interesting gaming news and stories this upcoming week because I was sick this past week, but I guess if there was ever a time to get sick, it was probably the last 6 days or so. Corey, your keyboard's going haywire, man. It's the Patriots. They've hacked your keyboard, bro. The Patriots hacked your keyboard. Did you get like a new phone? I'm assuming you're on your phone. I don't know. Maybe you're at a desktop. Mm-mm. 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 We're not biting that. Yeah, I took that stream down. I took it down because, dude, I don't know. I was sicker than I thought, and it just didn't go very well. And I was just like, you know what? It was only like an hour long. I shouldn't have tried to stream. I wasn't ready. You're on desktop. All right, boss. Boss, why are you biting me? Dude, I think I really embarrassed him. I think I really embarrassed Boss by telling you guys that he couldn't jump up on the desk. Come on. Come on. Come here, Boss. Give the audience what they want. You know what they want. All right, now speaking to the mic. Sorry, guys. At this point, I'm just hanging out with you guys. I'm just chilling with you guys. And you got dander and everything? Jeez. Boss said you exposed me, jerk. Wes says, hoping to hear Mark Cerny's sweet voice introduce the PS5 Pro next month at the showcase. Hey, you get out of there. You're getting in trouble. Yeah, I could see Mark Cerny coming out. So I decided to go with, 60 compute units. This was to ensure that we could destroy the Xbox Series X and leave it in the dirt. Could you imagine Mark Cerny saying some shit like that all calmly? And dude, Mark Cerny could say anything. And if he just delivers it in the way he talks, man, like, yeah. I do hope we hear from Mark Cerny this year, though, because we haven't heard from Mark in a while. Ascended Studios laying off more people. Is that that's the studio that did Immortals of Avium? Okay. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's unfortunate, maybe not surprising though, you know. It seems like Immortals of Avium really did flop hard. Yeah, the AAA gaming space really has become super unpredictable. And I don't really know what to make of anything anymore because, you know, you get a studio like that's making these big AAA games and they just flop and they fail and the studio practically closes down afterwards. But then you get games like Hogwarts Legacy selling 23 million units in the AAA space, and then you get WB coming out being like, yeah, that's not good enough. We need to go to live service. And it's like, what? You listen to the Road to PS5 ASMR version to go to sleep. Are you, dude? That's so Wes. I actually believe you, dude. That's awesome. Yeah. Hogwarts Legacy it pretty much sold on every platform. You just gotta wonder what is going to be good enough. Mark Cerny merch. Mark Cerny says, I met this deranged cat on this stream the other day. He let me know who the real boss is these days. Why is that so perfect though? Oh my god. I need to see if I can get like a Mark Cerny AI voice, bro. Having some Mark Cerny merch would be great though. It would need to be something. I'll be honest with you, like I want to get that picture of Mark Cerny. You know which one I'm talking about. The one where he's like, where he just has this devious look. But I don't know, man. Like, is that crossing a line? His owner made fun of him. Yes. I forgot. Yeah, I had the emoji. I don't know why I was explaining it to you guys when you had the emoji. Putting that on a shirt. Dude, he knows we're talking about him. Boss knows we're talking about him, dude. I just unwittingly donated a comedy line ad. There are definitely things I want to do with the merch going forward. I'm waiting for the right moment, and I think so. I don't want to say. Maybe I can say definitively. The merch rollout it's probably not going to be like a bunch of different stuff at once, but there's at least one thing. There's at least one thing I can say for sure. No matter what, I'm going to make sure to have ready by at least the day of the PlayStation Showcase. Just at least one thing. I have like other stuff as well that I would like to get, work on and get done at some point. But there's just like one specific piece of merch that I don't know how you guys are going to respond to it, but I like it. I like it. I think it's perfect. I'm going to be repping that shit. So I hope you guys like it when we get there. Somebody would be able to guess what it is. It's not, I will give you a hint. It's not Mark Cerny. Not quite there yet. Is it, boss? I guess you'll have to wait and find out. I'm going to have to start working on that shit soon, though. Well, not that I haven't been working on it, but I'm going to have to like really, because if I want to get some samples, I gotta get cooking. Nuke, you're saying Rise of the Ronin is really fun so far. Yeah, I'm still enjoying it, dude. Yeah, I should try to bring back the Rant Juice mugs as well. I had them out for a while. I'm talking like Walter White. My new product. It's going to be the best on the market. Samples and cooking. Yeah, true. I got to get cooking. We got to cook. Oh my God, that would be so funny. You know what? That's a great idea, but I would have to save that idea for when I do my head reveal. You're saying Photoshop your face with Kratos' mark. Oh my God, that would be so stupid, dude. That would be so stupid, but so funny. Grow my beard out. Take a picture. Try my best to look like Kratos. And then, yeah. That would be really funny. That's a good idea. I'll try to keep that in mind. Remind me in the future if we ever do get whenever we do get that head reveal eventually. Guys, I'm very sad to report this. Okay? I'm very sad to report this. And I just went to go check because, we're talking about a head reveal and how Stop chewing that. And how that's supposed to happen when we hit 100K. Dude, I can't stop losing subscribers, man. It's like, I'm not even complaining about it because it doesn't upset me, but it's just like, I don't know why. Just we're now back at 99.2K. Like, what am I? Is it? It has to be the streams, man. I'm telling you, there's more and more people who have been subscribed that they're tired of seeing me in their feed streaming. I should have known this was going to happen. Reveal the head. That'll bring back the subs. It's been 1.5 years. I know, dude. I know. Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing is like, I could definitely get to 100. If I really wanted to get to 100K, I could. I definitely could. Like, if I got dead serious about it, I'm like, I'm gonna. There ain't no way. There ain't no way, bro. What's Mrs. MBG cooking? What is Mrs. MBG cooking? She's cooking something, all right. That's funny. I'm not revealing that. That's good. That's pretty good. Sorry. What was I saying? Oh yeah, if I really, really, really wanted to get to 100K, like if I really wanted to, I could pump out shorts. I could try to just do on-trend topics. I could do it. But here's my problem with that is if I were to do that and then I do shoot up to 100K or maybe further than that, I feel like I'm being disingenuous about it because it's like I created this very specific type of content in order to grow to 100K, but that's not the content that I really want to make. Like, that's not what I'm really doing. And that's why, even though it sucks to see, losing subscribers, I understand it. It is just, it's the nature of I'm choosing to stream. I'm choosing to do long form dedicated content that asks a lot of the audience. I'm not asking people to tune in to 30-second shorts. I'm not even asking them most of the time to tune into 10-minute videos. I'm asking them to tune into, hey, come tune in for a couple of hours at a time. And I understand that a lot of people just don't want to do that. And that's not the, most mass appealing thing. I would like to obviously continue to grow though, but I'm going to give it time. Yeah, B Flesher, that's actually a huge contributing factor too. You're saying, I think the fact that the channel is also tied to PlayStation, how good PlayStation does, and the hype surrounding PlayStation directly translates into subs. You're 100% correct. 100%. For example, it goes the other way too. Like sometimes with Microsoft stuff. Like when I streamed the January State of Play, I saw a substantial spike in growth in subscribers, and that was on a stream. But I've dropped since then. And same thing when the situation with the Xbox games going to PlayStation happened. Streams saw substantial growth. And I think it's the way it goes, man. Like when these big events happen, I get a lot of new people in the door. But I only retain a certain amount, because again, I'm not necessarily asking people for commitment. It's the nature of streams. People have to decide, like, do I like this person enough and the community enough to want to be here this much, So we'll see. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with video content. I still have like right now my main focus, truthfully, like honestly, the past 3 to 4 weeks have been pretty rough in general, like between getting the procedure done, the oral surgery, and then getting sick last week. It's like the number one thing I've been focused on is just maintaining the streams and the community here and trying to keep up as best I can. Cause it's just a lot of shit at once that I'm like, I'm trying to just keep things as under control and on the rails as I possibly can. And I can't really think beyond that until I'm feeling 100%. And once I get 100% again and, things start really moving in the gaming industry, I definitely have plans. I definitely have things I want to do. And if you guys remember, we had this conversation last year. Excuse me. Because I know a lot of you guys came across the channel last year. And I remember saying all last year, like, I have big plans. I have things I want to do. And unfortunately, I mean, well, don't get me wrong. We achieved new heights for the channel last year. No doubt about it. But things didn't necessarily, because what B. Flesher just said is actually so true. Is because I am a PlayStation channel, how people publicly view PlayStation has a huge impact on how, not necessarily how they view my channel, but the level of traction my channel gets, how many new people show up, how many people suddenly, well, now I'm interested in PlayStation. So you'll notice, I'll put it to you this way. If Sony has an incredible showcase this year, total opposite of last year, if Sony puts on a showcase and they fucking blow everybody away, it's like one of the best shows they've ever done, you're going to notice like a massive uptick on my channel in everything, not just the streams. If I make videos, there's going to be an uptick. Just generally speaking, like it's just going to be a big wave because that's how it goes. And the reality for PlayStation in the last 12 months is, while they have been consistent, PlayStation has been consistent in what they've been delivering content-wise and keeping things flowing, there hasn't really been any like big moments, like huge moments. And the closest we got to that, again, was that State of Play in January and maybe the Game Awards. But outside of that, it's been pretty tame and pretty relaxed. Although you could argue Helldivers 2 is a big moment, but that's a little bit separate. I feel like Helldivers 2 is kind of like living a life of its own, separate from PlayStation. But it's hard to explain, but it's kind of a mix of both. I have influence and control over my channel, obviously, but the fact that I am a PlayStation focused channel, yeah, like when big interesting things are happening with PlayStation and even with Microsoft because of the competitive nature of the two, it has a huge influence on my channel. And that's why I've always talked to you guys about like other PlayStation centric channels, except for maybe Mystic. Mystic's probably like, I mean, Mystic, what's interesting about Mystic is Mystic has been doing PlayStation. He's been covering PlayStation since like 2007 or some shit, like since YouTube was like created, you know, within like the first couple years of YouTube. So it's like, yeah, he's like cemented as like, he's been here since like day one. And he's earned his place as like the like PlayStation guy, right? But outside of Mystic, I've noticed that any other channels that talk about PlayStation or console gaming for that matter, I noticed the past year or so, the clickbait has increased tenfold. Like you could tell it's the channels have started to struggle because it's just that it's a down year. It's been a down year for the past like 12 months. And yeah, dude, I mean, just we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I'm just thankful. That yeah, that's true. That's true. IP gaming. That would definitely work as well. Well, I don't know if it would help, but like those collabs would have to be long form. They could happen. Yeah. I've been thinking about it. I just don't want to get over my skis, you know? I know myself. I know myself well. And I know that I can come up with these great grand ideas, but when it comes time to actually execute on them, I don't usually think them through enough. Or I'm not honest enough with myself. You think I should try to get Mystic on the channel? Oh, that would be cool. See, that's the thing though, man, is like, that would be cool. And it would be cool to have Mystic on the channel. But man, like, if the idea is I should try to make his audience aware of my channel, I don't think that would work, dude. Like, I don't know, man. My channel's reputation and my reputation in general has been a little bit, there's been, I don't want to say there's like too much damage because it's not that serious, but it's like I guess a lot of people have like basically determined through what they've heard from other people or the way other people have tried to paint me, you know what I mean? Like show me like, oh, here, this is what MBG is like. And it's like, it's just an out of context thing. It's like, is that really what he's like? You know? I think it has basically tainted some people's minds and they don't quite realize, you know, that like, actually that's not really me. Although, I don't know, I've had my moments, you know? I've had my moments. But anyway, it's here's what I'll say. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens with the channel, I would say from May onward. Because I definitely, I have faith, like, in this channel, in this community, in myself. I have faith in PlayStation. It's unwavering faith. But I also, I just, I don't want to, I tend to veer more towards negativity at times where like I just assume the worst. But in this case, I'm actually not really feeling that way. Like I am actually feeling pretty damn good about not just the future of this channel, but like the future of hopefully the gaming industry, but talking about consoles and shit, you know, like console gaming. I feel like there's just been so much dire negative stuff for like the past year and a half that it's just kind of getting tired at this point. It's like, okay, yeah, I know everything's on its way out. Everything sucks. You know, Limp Bizkit was right. Everything's fucked. Everybody sucks, you know? But I feel like the time is coming. I hope I'm not wrong. I feel like the time is coming where it's like, all right, you know, things have been down enough. Let's get hype again. Let's get some good shit going on again. Let's do it. Everything died a billion times already this last year. I know, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Gaming Survivor. There's the culture has changed. I can feel that. I can see that. The culture has changed. Anytime. That's why I don't go on Twitter anymore. Like I don't have to think about not going on Twitter. I just don't because it fucking sucks, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Twitter like a year and a half ago was some great, pleasant place, but it was never this bad. And everything I see, every YouTube thumbnail I see, every hot take I see on Twitter, it's all the same stuff where it's about everything is just trash and should die. And if it didn't die already, it should die. And I'm just like, all right, come on. You know? Yeah, I'll think about that IP gaming. I'll think about that. That would certainly be interesting. I'm too used to being a lone wolf, man. That's what's tough. I'm so used to just being a solo. I mean, I'm not solo in life, you know, like I have a family, obviously, but I'm definitely not the most social person. And it's weird because, like, I guess people would think, well, how's that possible? You sit here and you talk to people for hours and stuff. It's like, yeah, but it's a little bit different, you know? But we'll see, guys. I'm feeling pretty good overall. I'm eager. I'm eager for the summer showcases. I'm eager for gaming to not just, I'll be honest, I'm eager for PlayStation to fucking just kick it in the gear, dude. I am. I want to see PlayStation fucking kill it this year. I want to see the Pro. I want to see new games. I want to feel the hype. And I want to experience that with you guys. Have a good time. That's what I think is going to happen. So, but man, I thought I was going to end the stream over an hour ago, but here we are. So, I think this is where I will bring the stream to an end, though, because at this point, I mean, I've just been rambling for the past, like, 30 minutes anyway. So, but yeah, guys, listen, before I head out, I do just want to, as always, extend a very big thank you to the entire community, but especially for those of you who support the channel directly. We had a huge day with memberships, 86 memberships. Wasn't expecting that. I was just hoping we could hit the goal of 25, and you guys did that 3 times over. So sincerely, I can't thank you guys enough for continuing to allow me to do this here, and to host these streams, to put on these shows, and to talk gaming with you, and to give Boss the platform that I know he so desperately desires. And also to anybody who donated a super chat, thank you guys as well. I also want to make sure I give a big shout out and also a big thank you to oh my god, hold on, I got an eyelash in my eye. Sorry. to Devil Shooter. Devil Shooter does the timestamps for the streams. He does a great job. So if you see him in the comments, give him a thank you. I know he really appreciates that. And yeah, we'll see what the upcoming week holds. Right now, I'm going to say I'm probably not going to be streaming tomorrow, but just be on the lookout. I would say at around like 12 p.m. Eastern, just come check on the channel. If I'm live, you'll see it there. But we'll definitely be doing a stream on Tuesday. So, all right. Last request I have as you're heading out, please hit that like button. We are sitting at 291 likes. If everybody were to contribute, we could easily go beyond 300 likes. Really helps the streams, and yeah, I gotta go hydrate. I'm parched over here, man. So, all right, that does it. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. I don't know what the weather's like for you guys, but where I'm at, it's really nice outside. I think I'm gonna go try to get some sun, get some vitamin D, and yeah. So enjoy the rest of your day. I will catch you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, everyone. Our Cerny, who art at Sony, hallowed be thy name. Oh, man, I think you guys took it a little too far. Hanzo, I think you crossed the line, bro. Take care, guys.